5th. One would argue, though, this is a different college team than was in that game. And like almost every men's game so far, we get a false start off the opening whistle. And they're looking to go deep, and down the corner are the Mammoths. And we will talk about starting lineups and who everybody is in a moment. But Amherst is in the black uniforms with the purple numbers and trim with black shorts and black socks. We will do our best to identify because it is not the easiest with those uniforms. They are moving left to right, defending the left-hand goal and going across the right to attack the right-hand goal on your screen. Same uniforms they were wearing last night. Connecticut College in the same uniforms as last night as well. They're in the home whites with a light blue shoulders and navy blue numbers and trim, white shorts, white socks. They're defending to the right, attacking to the left. And here's a uniqueness that Amherst brings to the table. That is Bryce Johnson and his flip throw, which can change field position very quickly.
You talk about wearing the same uniforms as last night. I mean, hopefully they even had time to wash them because they didn't get home from the hotel after the game ended, after the press conference, until 12:30 a.m. Yeah. Amherst did not. So you're talking about, what was probably a 15, 16-hour break and recovery time by the time they were able to go to sleep. That's a lot to ask.
I believe both teams brought their other uniforms just in case. The bracket dictates that the team on the right side is designated the home team, just as the designation on the top side of the bracket designates the home team otherwise. Oh. You would have think we could have switched the uniforms for everybody's sake, but somebody did some yeoman's work in the laundry department as we get a foul early on in this one.
I was talking with Coach Serpone and Coach Justin Serpone. He's always fun to talk to. It's just incredible conversations regarding the sport of soccer. But, I asked him about tonight's game, and, we were clearly talking about the benefit maybe of, in the future, having the off day in between, so you have some recovery time. But tonight, it's really going to be a battle of, who's going to win the next 15 minutes.
This one comes all the way out.
And he's going to have guys play at, if they can give 100%, they're going to stay out on the field. If not, he's got a deep enough bench here where he's going to go and bring in somebody in the last game of the year for no matter what, who's able to give that 100% tonight.
Let's talk about the starters for the Mammoths, who were ranked in the coaches poll before conference tournaments began for most teams. NESCAC was kind of already rolling. Mammoths are 19th in the country. We'll put them in numerical order for you as this one's played into the box. And Amherst controls. A 6'3" freshman defender, number 3, Lawrence Tenkate from Westport, Connecticut. A senior defender standing at 6'1", number 5, Bryce Johnson from Plano, Texas. Kyle Kelly, a 6'2" senior defender wearing number 7 from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. 5'10" junior midfielder wearing number 8 from Fairfax, Virginia. It's Alex Shamazadi. One of the captains for this Amherst squad is 6-foot senior forward, number 9 from Pinecrest, Florida. It is Herman Giamatti. Number 12, the other captain, Felix Wu from Bethesda, Maryland. He's a senior defender, standing 6'3". Number 13, a freshman forward, 6'1", Niall Murphy from Cambridge, Massachusetts. The third captain on this team is Sebastian Derby from as we get a moment here, just give us a second as...
It's a great tackle there by... It was...
And Giamatti, by the way, slams into Maidencrest in the meantime as you take another look at it. Great sliding tackle to get that ball out from under him, I believe.
It was Dukovic was the one who came in to make the play and took a little bit of pressure off of Maidenberg.
Real quick while we get a chance, Sebastian Derby from San Pedro Garza Garcia, Mexico, 5'7", senior forward, number 16, as we get a whistle to have some conversations about the decorum in the middle of the box. Sophomore forward from London, 6'1", Ada Okorogeye. And number 33, San Diego, California native, senior defender, 6'3", Gabe Gittler. And in goal, Kofi Hope Gunn from New York, New York. He is a 6'4" senior, and that is your Amherst starters. We'll get you the Camels here in a moment, as the flip throw is going to send this ball right to the penalty spot, headed towards the goal and out. Looked like Shamarzadi got his head on it as they continue to trade head balls before finally Connecticut College will boot it out, and Hope Gunn, who is a third of the way up the field, will control it from out of the box.
And we saw this yesterday. Not only did he make
spectacular service. all the way into the penalty box. That was a dangerous effort early on.
Not only did he make some spectacular saves, which we all thought were SportsCenter-esque last night, he came so far out that he allowed the defense to push up the field and be almost that sweeper, which is rarely used nowadays.
Another flip throw here. Chicago played a little gamesmanship with Johnson last night. One of their bench players standing as close as he could to the path Johnson was taking when it was in the bench area. This one's going all the way to the goal line. It is slapped out by Maidenberg. Okorogeye had a chance at it, but he kind of topped the shot into traffic. Check this one out again. This is a beaut.
Right onto the back post. Watch this. And he had to slap it out, and then the shot by Okorogeye will at least give them a corner kick opportunity. But, my God, that throw by Johnson, such an underrated weapon.
We know it's a good throw, but that's the best he's had.
It's not just that he's able to do it, he's able to do it with precision.
Right.
And
which
that's
is better
what makes
than
it so
2
dangerous.
years ago. This will be an outswinger. Didn't really get it as much as they wanted, but still results in a shot from Gittler. Now, correction, that might have been Murphy, actually, who took that shot. And so Connecticut College will get the throw in. We'll get a chance, hopefully, here to talk about the Camels, who start as a sophomore defender, 6'2", out of New Haven, Connecticut, wearing number 6. It's Alessandro Horvath-Diano. You also have a sophomore midfielder wearing number 8 at 5'9" from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. It's Rai Jaran, as that is out of bounds for the Mammoths. The man who tied the game last night out of Zimbabwe, the senior forward, number 9 at 5'9", is MT Shuma, who had one of the more incredible shots that we've seen in quite some time. Painted it right off of the post to tie the game at 1-1 from about 25 yards out. Just blasted it.
Unsavable off the right post, banked in. Perfect play. And he had a couple other opportunities in the game as well.
He had one earlier that he put off the top post, or top bar. And it was moving all kinds of crazy.
Shuma certainly is the one that Amherst back four is going to have to keep a close eye on today, but he's not the only one.
Well, let me get to the rest of the starters here in a second, as Herman Giamatti has it in the corner and tracks 3 Camels' attention. They think the ball's out, and the official agrees with them. Matt Scofone, by the way, sophomore forward, number 13 from Thornton, Pennsylvania, is 5'11". You also have you can tell me how to say the town correctly for number 14. Yeah, Connecticut College. It's right in your name of the hood. I was trying to give you a
Mahopac.
There you go. It's junior forward number 14, 6'3". It's Augie Jirgai. Lorenzo Bocchetti from Wilmington, Delaware, 6-foot senior midfielder number 16. From Ellington, Connecticut, it's Roman Dukovic, a junior defender number 21, standing at 6 foot as this one goes into the corner from Okorogeye.
Nice tackle.
Great tackle to keep that from being a threat. Westfield, New Jersey native, a freshman defender number 24 at 6'2". It's Jack Kelazoglu. And then the game-winning star last night, Steve Jonas, who's from McLean, Virginia, 5'9" defensive junior number 25. Also Bruce Doyle, a Hoboken, New Jersey native, 5'8" junior defensive player number 30. And the guy who's already had to make a couple big plays, Sam Maidenberg from South Orange, New Jersey, 6-foot junior goalkeeper. And he's going to be challenged here on the next throw-in from Johnson. This one going to the back post again, headed back across the goal but over the goal post and out of play to avoid the threat. Quickly, our officials, by the way, in the center. It's Eric Tattersall. We have one assistant ref, James McLean. The other is Matthew Bell. And our fourth official, who worked the Connecticut College-Washington League game in the middle, it's Thomas Snyder. I'm sorry, no. Thomas Snyder worked the game last night with Amherst and Chicago. He's our fourth official. He had the game last night that went double overtime. I'm not actually seeing our official from the first game. He is not out there. I was told he was, but I do not see him.
Talking to Coach Serpone earlier, just the significance of taking advantage of every opportunity today, which is going to be resulting in them pressing high early. And you've seen that coming out here in the first 9.5 minutes right now, how many opportunities that they've had. They struggled last night to try to find holes to work with. Today, you see the pressure early, and by doing so, they're they're forcing Connecticut out of its shape.
Good work there by Shemrazadi.
You see, they're pressing everything, Dave.
They are. They're pressing hard up at the top of the attack, much like the Wesleyan women did in the semifinal yesterday. Ended up not working for the Cardinals in the long run, but Amherst is a bit of a different built team. Ball's out of bounds. It'll be.
And that's the Amherst crowd. That's the crowd that you hear. And both teams,
and the team, yeah.
Both teams warmed up very differently. Amherst was animated. They were loud. Connecticut was a lot more reserved. Very different approaches today.
Yeah, Amherst definitely jacked up, as it were. As our fourth official, Tom Snyder, telling the Camels player, that is Jonas, to back up from where Johnson is. Johnson's trying to throw in, and the Camels players are outside of their the bench area too, trying to make it difficult for him. This one's another great throw right to the 6. It's initially cleared out, and it is. Giamatti was trying to come in there for a strike and just mistimed the run.
Look where Johnson was.
That was a good 40-yard throw.
Yeah, 40 yards on the dime inside the 6. It's a matter of time. I mean, when you have a weapon like Bryce Johnson, it's almost as good as a corner kick every time he throws the ball in.
Well, and again, he can change field position for you. He'll throw it now in from just before midfield. And this won't go nearly to the box. It's headed out by Jonas. I'm sorry, it was headed out by Derby. Derby's got a big cast on his right arm, so it makes him easy to spot. And everybody lines up as if it's a corner kick here. Remember, you can't be off sides on a throw-in either, which is an advantage they can take here, as there's a conversation about the behavior at the goal line here. And by the way, Johnson's also just as capable of throwing a short one in.
The conversation was on the back post with Derby.
Headed up, it's loose in the box. Maidenberg makes a save on the ground. It goes over the end line. They're going to call goal kick. Maidenberg gets on the ground there to at least make one save, but that was a dangerous position. Ball loose about 3 yards off the goal line.
Let's watch it again. Another dynamite throw, and then you see the ball loose here. Diving save by Maidenberg, and then almost a handball there. Very, very close in front, but officials do not, sometimes they'll swallow the whistle on a play like that. They don't like players playing it from the seat of their pants, and very fortunate Connecticut was there not to have more problems in the box than they did.
Maidenberg's kick somehow stays in bounds on the sideline.
So what? We played now 13 minutes, and we've probably spent 10 of them in this half of the field. The question is, how much gas is Amherst going to have in the tank to be able to keep this pace?
To keep it up, yeah. Again, they were exhausted last night, as was Chicago after the completion of that game. I mean, to the point that Chicago, you could argue, lost the game because they cleared it out of their 6, but they had no energy to follow it out of the 18, giving Kubedu plenty of distance and space to absolutely blast that winner home. Kubedu, by the way, is into the game. Missed when he subbed in, but he's in. He's out of Davie, Florida at 5'11", junior midfielder, wearing number 10. Fancy footwork there from Murphy. Kicks it down the line. Connecticut College having trouble clearing it. Of course, Amherst defense, the flat 3 or even flat 4 will play all the way up to midfield, as you said, mainly because their goalies behind them will play up. It's played out to the outside, trying to kick it over the Connecticut defense. As we're 15 or so minutes into this championship game, an all-NESCAC final for the second year in a row.
It's a bit of a dummy play there.
Yep. Okorogeye tried to go into the corner, couldn't bring the ball with him. Now it's Kubedu. And Maidenberg's going to make sure that ball goes over the end line with no ability to come back and haunt him.
A smart play by Maidenberg to come out and eliminate any chance of an angle there to maybe send that ball across.
See it again. Look at this. Just great dribbling. Actually got Derby in a bad position, but
We had Murphy was lingering in the box had that ball gotten through.
this one's going to be played over the top, and Maidenberg will collect it.
Now, Amherst struggle today is going to be find ways to not only pressure the ball, but also to get numbers forward, which they were able to get numbers forward last night, but the opportunities were very far and few in between. And the biggest issue yesterday is that they were not getting a lot of good opportunities for Giamatti at all. He was almost not a focus.
Opportunity for him, though. He tries to play with the back heel into the middle of the box. Kubedu was on the attack. Good defense that time. It's not like Connecticut College hasn't seen it all from this team. But Okorogeye's got it. He's on the goal line. It's not out of bounds according to the officials. Giamatti's not happy with that lack of a call, but it's coming back to him. Okorogeye's in an offsides position, and they're going to say that so was Giamatti. And so it'll be an offsides called on them. That ball came back faster than the two of them were anticipating.
By the way, just
and
to finish
Derby
that,
mishandles it.
Finish that last point, Giamatti did not have a shot.
Sorry, Jonas mishandles it. Go ahead.
In last night's game. Nothing
right.
officially.
Yeah, no shots in the game. They did a really good job against him, though it also wore him out, trying to stay with him and keep from being – they kind of lost track of Kubedu as a result of that at the end of the game. Schuma's going to pick up a foul here. Came in late. He's going to come over and make sure that – well, I think he's going to make sure – no, I thought maybe we were going to have a sportsman-like moment there, but no, he's just coming over to harass. And he'll be called officially off at 10 yards. Again, we mentioned at the top of the show, Amherst coming in on a 9-game unbeaten streak. The only blemish in that run, a 0-0 tie against Colby, which went to penalty kicks, which Colby ended up winning 4-3 in the first round of the NESCAC tournament, which meant Amherst went from October 30th to November 13th without playing a game. Just the way the NESCAC tournament is structured in most of their sports.
The last 10 times these teams have played, Amherst has not lost.
You can see 10 of the 11, or really 9 of the 10 field players for Amherst across the 50 and putting pressure on.
Just dating back, the last win for Connecticut in this series was back in 2011, Dave. So 7 wins, 3 ties, no losses for Amherst during that span of time.
Amherst incredibly has allowed only 1 goal in their last 9 games, 2 in their last 11. As we're gonna, Amherst tries to quickly restart about 10 yards further forward than where the foul took place, and our official Eric Tattersall isn't gonna let that happen. Under 27 to play here in the first half. Boot, nicely done, but clearing it off by Doyle as that free kick from Hope Gunn was aiming for Okorogeye on the far side, who now gets it in the corner. He's able to beat one man, but a second one comes over, gets past him, a shot that has to be stopped at the post. The follow-up coming isn't great. Giamatti tries to put a back foot on it. That's well defended, as well as Amherst is certainly coming close. And then trying to get Okorogeye and on a different page than Shamarzadi, and check this one out again, coming tap dancing down the end line. Wow.
Yeah, if not for the quick hands there at Maidenberg, you have a wide open head in front, but how they allow him to get through on the end line is beyond me. Because you know Okorogeye is, that's his intent there, right? He's trying to drive to the goal. He's trying to pull pressure towards him. And they still let him win the battle.
He also put enough on that he was maybe expecting Maidenberg to have some trouble with it and have it deflect in even. So he had multiple options there. But he got around 3 defenders. And Amherst off to a pretty solid start here in this championship game, considering, as we have pointed out, they were the ones who played the longest last night and the latest. But let's see how long it can go for.
Also of note is, we have not with intent until me forcing it right now, said the name of the conference's player of the year, and Augie Girjai has not been involved in this game so far. At least not has been a factor, at least.
And we're 20 minutes in. Johnson will come up for another flip throw. Connecticut College has their defense back to almost the 6.
So this is about the position where he was throwing in last night when they got the winner on the opposite side of the field.
This one's going back post for their perspective, headed up and out of bounds. Another great opportunity. You know, and unlike a direct kick in that situation, you can be hanging out in an offsides position because you're not offsides. And I think that's what makes it even more dangerous for the Connecticut College defense is it's not like they can play an offsides trap. Or they can't at least make it a tight window. Now they'll try and transition out of this. Maybe get some offensive momentum going.
See, there's Girjai for the first time with the ball at his feet in the middle.
Jonas plays it outside to Horvath Diano. Inside opportunity. It's loose in the box and poke checked out. Now back, though, on the foot of Girjai, forcing another kind of flailing effort to clear the box, and it'll be a throw in here for the Camels. And we get a number of subs for Connecticut College coming in. We get to see Jorge Mendo for the first time out of Spain, a 5'11 freshman defender, number 4. Also see Marco Cerezo. He is another Spaniard, 6-foot sophomore, wearing number 5, also a defender. And coming into the game, actually I lost him.
18, Jack Marvel.
Oh, thank you. Jack Marvel out of Marion, Massachusetts. He converted the penalty kick in the first round against Salem State. Well, the winning penalty kick, I should say. Or Amherst has this entire run, or Connecticut College, I apologize, has this entire run and in the first round.
To a team that isn't even sniffing the top 25.
No. Trying to hit Giamatti, cannot do it, and it'll be kicked upfield by Horvath Diano.
Well, 4 of the first 5 games in this tournament for the Camels have been decided by 1 goal or less. Obviously, the opening round game, they had the 1-0 win over Redlands. And then, of course, the battle of the ages there between Tufts, 5-4, and then, last night's overtime thriller. But,
Redlands was in the 3rd round.
And, I skipped NYU because that was the only game that was actually comfortable, 3-0 in the second round.
Yeah. Kubedu around the corner against Jonas, but Jonas makes a great recovery. That foul would be called in basketball, though. Too much hand checking. 22 minutes left, and Schuma gets in the way of that kick, and it'll be a little gamesmanship. Schuma was convinced it went off of an Amherst player, and you kind of saw Shamariza. What was I looking at? Yeah, it was Shamirzadi. Just kind of waving him off. Like, nah, you're full of it. Kubedu has got that extra gear tonight. He hit the game winner last night. The left foot from the top of the 18. Full volleyed it. Jonas with it. Threads the needle to the far side. Cross coming. It's on the ground, though. And it allows the Mammoths to get the clear defensively. I think that looked like a missed kick from the far sideline.
We talked about Amherst trying to win the game 15 minutes at a time, obviously, dividing that into 6 different segments. Clearly, Amherst won the first 15 minutes. A much more dominant team. And the second 15, they were starting to win that as well. But, like any good fight, any good UFC fight, it goes the full 5 rounds. And this right here is round number 2, and Connecticut's starting to finally get some momentum.
10K earns that one to go out of bounds. 10K got drilled in the eye last night with a soccer ball from close range. Looks a little bruised on that left eye. Actually came out of the game despite trying to kind of gut it out.
Well, he couldn't see the ball, and he had
No.
no choice but to come out
Trainer
eventually.
was reluctant, and it took the official 4 or 5 tries to get that trainer to go out there.
I mean, we saw, how tough some of these guys are. Obviously, you saw with Chicago, one of their players, 3 jersey changes because of blood. Had to have his whole head wrapped up.
Yeah, Luker.
Yep.
Shuma still with control of the ball. Yeah, he went through 2 jerseys, or technically wore a 3rd jersey.
I mean, these guys have literally, and we saw last night, literally spilled blood to get to this point, and it's going to take, the inability to walk to not be on the field as long as their coaches will permit.
Amherst continuing to pressure up here.
Friendly fire there.
Yeah. Kupedu taken out by his own player, and then a collision between Mammoths and Camels, and they're going to they initially were not going to call the foul, but they were waiting to see if it was play on, and Girjai is not happy with it, though I think the collision was fine. It was his shove at the end that probably warranted the call. Let's see it again. Watch him go up for this. It's that part there that I think drew the foul. If he had kept his arms down, it was just a collision, there's no call, but it was that extension of the arm that likely drew the whistle.
Yeah, and Murphy, worse for wear at the tail end of that.
Maidenberg's up to the 6. He'll collect it at the 6. Last night, I remember a moment where Giamatti looked up. I think it was Giamatti. Somebody looked up and saw the opponent's goalkeeper well out off his line on an opening kick of the half, and nearly bombed it.
Till the officials blew it dead for a false start, but.
Well, yeah, the goalie also did a nice. They're going to call a foul on the far side. His spinning to the ground was Scuffon. The goalie also did a smart job of finally backing up. Not sure who they called that on.
They're calling
was that,
They're
Gittler?
calling on. Yeah, it looks like it is on Gabe Gittler.
We're going to have stoppage of the clock here. I think. Speaking of spilled blood, I think we got another one of those situations where Buchetti is bleeding, and so our official blows it dead. It's for some reason it's the left side every time, Ira. This time it's over his left eye. He's going to have to come out of the game, and they're going to bring in Oliver Piochon to replace him. Piochon, the Newburyport, Massachusetts native, 6-foot junior midfielder, playing kind of a midfield defensive role here. And we should note, by the way, normally in a first half, you're off the field. You've been on the field once. You're done for the game. But because he's out for this reason, Buchetti can come back in the game later.
And I'm looking at his family sitting about 4 rows in front of us here in the crowd. You could tell it's the family because they have a shirt that says Buchetti with the right pronunciation on it. It's actually got to tweet that out. That's amazing. But they were obviously very concerned there for a moment, but looks like he is fine. Just get bandaged up and go back in at some point.
Handball's going to be called here on Girjai. The problem was he spun, and instead of letting the ball play him, he raised his arm to protect himself, and that meant he played the ball, and so that's an easy call for our officials.
Wish we could get a camera shot. His dad literally has a T-shirt that's Connecticut College, number 16, Bo-KET with the accent -EE to remind everybody, including us, how to correctly say his name.
Oh, consternation about whether Hope Gun was going to start this from the right location. And being it's an all-NESCAC final, the fans are a little bit more on edge as Okoregeye, who uses the left foot, tries to hit Giamatti, and it will sneak out of bounds. Herman giving Ada a congratulatory clap for the service there. Into the game for the Camels comes Jake Creus, the Rye, New York native, 5'8" sophomore forward, wearing number 17. Wrote for his high school student newspaper, by the way. And you can probably guess, wants to work in sports and media when he graduates.
This will give Shuma a much-deserved break, try to preserve his
Oh, we got
energy.
another injury on the far side. He is really slow to his feet. That is Mendo, and he looks to be in a lot of pain. Amherst will kick the ball out of bounds here.
Yeah, he is not getting up either.
No, and at first I thought maybe he just took a bad fall, but he is in a lot of discomfort. And now there's a little bit of conversation, let's call it. The official actually telling Maidenberg, the goalie, to go back to his post.
By the way, that is C. Rizzo trying to help his teammate who's...
2 Spaniards, right?
Yeah, a ton of
Spaniards. Pain. Well, now he's trying to say he's okay, but he's going to have...
See if we see how it happens here.
Is it just head-to-head? Oh, no.
I think it's just the
back.
landing. Yeah, he
yep.
had the wind knocked out of him as he hit the turf.
Or the small of his back, that probably just stung. That smart. So it's good to see him running off. I'll flat out say, because landing like that, especially and this grass surface isn't hard. It's got a little give to it, but it's still not comfortable when you're coming down from 3-4 feet up. So he'll come back on when the official allows it. I thought Amherst kicked it out, and it turns out the Camels did. And once back, Mendo is going to return now.
Well, next year when we move to turf, we'll see if those landings feel any better.
Yeah, I was going to say, that might be the one thing that turf still hasn't quite been the same as grass. And they're going to call a whistle on the far side. Connecticut College is trying to match the intensity of Amherst by just being more aggressive in terms of contact. This one on Pioshun, and of course he is in for Buchetti right now. Buchetti is on the sideline waiting to come in, but he can't come in until there's, unlike the other injury, because he was taken off for blood, he can't come in until there's an official substitution because a man came in for him.
And he's a senior, so, I mean, unless he uses a grad year, this is it for him as well, so he's going to play hurt as long as he's capable of.
It's interesting how in the women's game we never saw the magic spray to mark 10 yards. We've seen it often in the men's game. So this will be a dangerous kick from, let's call it 35. It's going to be a left foot kind of line drive and a little bit of a toe poke there.
Shot attempt by Tenkate was blocked.
That's Tenkate, thank you.
Need binoculars to try to pick out these numbers tonight.
I'm amazed that you got that one. I think College was trying to recover, and that kick to Jonas went too far. And then he and Shamarzadi made contact on the sideline as both teams are just trying to, I don't want to say bait officials into calls, but definitely trying to get the officials involved in stuff. And the officials are doing a good job so far of not making calls on the superficial stuff, but at the same time telling both teams to cut it out. So Johnson will flip this one in from midfield with 14 minutes left to go in the first half. We are 0-0 between Amherst and Connecticut College. That will be played into the corner. Camels defensively, and a misplay there. Jonas in trouble, loses the ball, and it will go out of bounds for another throw-in, which is not what you want to do if you're the Camels, is give Amherst opportunities here deep in the offensive quarter, really.
Yeah, you could say this is the final quarter. And be interesting to look at the next-gen stats at halftime, but, I mean, they've had possession in this
They've been camping
quarter,
out.
What, 40% probably,
yeah,
I'd say.
They've been camping out in the 18.
Look how close he gets to this.
This is going
concrete
back
wall.
Post. Yeah, and this is going back post. It's going right to the back post. That goes off the post along with the hands of Maidenberg, who then finally composes himself and is able to run out and grab that ball. Now they're going to try and go quickly in transition.
Yeah, he just dumps that onto the flank.
Oh, and then a bad pass is an immediate turnover for Amherst, and could not get it up ahead to Giamatti. Check this out again, Ira. This is a heck of a placement. And it didn't hit the post like I thought, but there was contact with the ironwork as a Connecticut College player gets dumped on at midfield. And
that's Scafone, who's slow to his feet.
He's now back up And they'll get a free kick at midfield with 12:18 remaining and counting.
Yeah, Maidenberg on that elevation play there on that
That's
long throw by Johnson actually hit the crossbar with his gloves going up and was able to gobble it up before Amherst was able to attack the loose ball. But
that free kick, they went all the way back to Maidenberg.
Look at Giamatti.
Oh, he is hustling out there. You would think this was the way he's sweating the second half, and the way last night went, you would think he never played in that game.
Well, we know this will be the last game he wears an Amherst uniform. He's obviously got another year of eligibility if he chose to go to grad school, and he's a very smart kid, so grad school is certainly an option. But I was talking again to Coach Serpone about Giamatti's future, and he's like, he's concerned about his guys not just today, but 10 years down the line and what their life is going to be like. And if he's going to continue playing, Dave, he wants it to be either professionally, because he's going to have chances in the MLS or overseas, or use a grad year to have an experience somewhere else.
Well, it's interesting because he said, if I had my way, as Connecticut College plays this over the top, this is a dangerous ball. Flashing down the wing comes Scafone, makes a move in the box, then loses it just as he was about to take a shot. The dribble went just too far away. But, if you listen, as you get a sub here coming into the game.
Let's watch this again real quick. Scafone able to elude on the end line there. Gittler, and just ran out of real estate. Too many purple shirts.
Right foot a little too much. First time we're seeing Dylan Zane in this game. Montego Bay, Jamaica native. Actually, I don't think he played yesterday either. This is his 14th appearance on the season. Sophomore forward number 7. He gives Scafone a break. But back to that point, listening to Justin talk about that, he basically said, if I have my way, he won't be back. And I get his point, but he also seemed to leave a little bit of wiggle room that honestly, and I'm not saying this is happening, I'm just trying to be as fair to this as possible. If Giamatti decides he's coming back to Amherst, Giamatti's coming back to Amherst, but it's not because Serpone or anybody else asked him to. And
Fair.
Serpone's going to try and at least tell him to do something else. He's trying to be fair to his program, and as you said, look out for everybody else. But it was an interesting sentence for him to say. If I have my way, he's not coming back, but he left the door open to that if Giamatti wants to come back, no one's telling him no. Granted, he could have a professional career too. Oko Reggae with it. Oh,
I have no doubt in my mind, Dave, that he'll be playing at the next level somewhere.
Connecticut College trying to break out of the defensive end. Horvathiano with it. Fed it up ahead to Mendo. Oh, correction. We fed it up to Girjai. Under 10 minutes of play here in the first half. No surprise. We are scoreless between Amherst and Connecticut College. Jonas trying to throw this in. He's going to get it to Girjai. And then steps in to try and keep possession. Girjai had to get around the official and was unable to, as this one is kicked all the way to the defensive line. Giamatti is a threat right now at the top of that box. Girjai brings it down with his hand, and they're going to call another free kick for Amherst at midfield.
Well, we know how difficult Giamatti and Oko Rogeye are to deal with up top, but between the two of them, just one shot so far. So credit to the Camel defense. They've been able to limit the looks of those two targets at the top have had a chance to look at in this game.
Johnson's been more of a threat.
Oh, for sure, because he's the one creating all the chances.
Yep.
And doing so without the ball at his feet.
Floater over the top of the 18 here. Opportunity. Camels again. Swarm. Clear it out of the box initially. It's just getting transitioned into offenses where they've struggled. And that one pushed back in to the defensive end by Kelly. As into the game for the Camels comes Guerin, Jake Guerin, the Kittery, Maine native, 6'2" sophomore forward who wears number 12. So both teams already showing they're willing to use the depth of their benches in this first half. Camels wanted a pushing foul there, but they've got possession. And then a missed kick there by Crayus.
By the way, it's already the 6th sub that the Camels have used. And if anything, I expected Amherst to go further into its bench.
Opportunity, Connecticut College goes into the corner, running on, across! If a defender doesn't get there, that very likely is going to find the back of the net from I believe that was Guerin coming in.
Well, look at Kyle Kelly coming across there. Otherwise, that cross is right onto the head, or at least maybe a volley attempt there for Guerin coming through.
Mendo is the one that put that across. And now it will be
Horvath Diano taking the corner.
Horvath Diano puts it into the top of the 6, headed, but not towards the goal. And Okorogeye will try and clear it, but now the Camels with a little bit of momentum. Line drive into the box from Marvel. As everybody made contact with themselves, but not the ball on that last moment. And now we get an elbow up and makes contact with the head, and so they're going to call Guerin for that. Nope, that's not Guerin. That is Crayus, and he made contact with Shamrazadi, who had an interesting second half last night. Seemed to be injured most of the half, including a moment where the official stopped the game to check on him early on.
And he refused to come off the field until the very end.
So we got another direct kick that Hope Gund will take, who had a couple of great saves last night. One of them it's almost what you call the textbook diving save that no one's able to achieve usually. Never looks that good. And he made it look darn good.
I mean, he had a bunch of them. Obviously, we hyped on the one on this side of the field in the first half, but his save there at the end in overtime.
Yeah, that was a great save. That led a minute later to the game
exactly.
winner.
That's exactly where I was leading. That he doesn't make that save, number one, the game's over. But number two, it was what ultimately sparked that game-winning drive at the end.
Talking to a couple committee members as Okorogeye is going to get a break here, and into the game comes Declan Sung, who didn't play yesterday either. Sophomore defender, number 15, stands 5'8" out of Newton, Massachusetts. I don't think he's played last night at least, but they were talking about the fact that you got to feel for Chicago because they had this opportunity at the game winner on one end of the field, and within a minute, they're looking at the game winner going past them on the other end of the field. And it's just the emotional run that created.
And those emotional runs, quite frankly, have been almost the hallmark of Chicago's appearances here in Greensboro over the last 4 years that we've been here.
It's true.
They've had so many opportunities and haven't been able to find a way to break through. And,
Maidenberg makes sure that one is picked up without going over, because I think he thought that it touched a Camel on the way in.
And the last time they had heartbreak like that was North Park.
Oh.
In a game that they had won.
Many thought they had the winner done and dusted. It got called back on an offsides that is still being talked about to this day.
Well, it helps that you and I are talking about it to keep the memory alive. But if they had video replay.
Well, they did. They just never used it.
If they used the video replay, we would have had a potentially different outcome.
Under 4 minutes to play, 3.5 really in this first half, and it's scoreless. Amherst has certainly dominated most of the conversation. That was a tremendous slide tackle.
Official says play on.
And now he won't, as we get a little bit of extracurricular activities here.
Well, this whistle is on Shamir Zadi, but way back towards the midfield circle, it was Marvel who was banged up for Connecticut.
I thought it was a decent slide tackle, but I do admit he got a bit more Marvel than I expected. Nope, you're right. He was late there. And then this is where it unraveled. Yeah, that's a heck of a shoulder.
Shoulder right into the side of Krause.
Well, even more of his back than anything. And then if that had continued on, you would have seen some extracurriculars that the official also stopped play for. Now he's having a conversation with a fourth player.
Crayus certainly.
And we might have a fifth. I mean, this is constant.
Well, that's the hardest thing for these officials right now. It's not only is this a national championship game, Dave.
No.
These are two teams that already are emotionally charged after yesterday, and then you
add in the conference.
Add into the fact, the fact that they know each other so well.
I mean, no, this is a difficult game, as you said, to officiate. Played into the box, bodies flying. No opportunity, though, for the Camels to get a shot off.
It was Cerezo who had the initial head, I believe.
3 minutes left to go in the half. That has been filled with everything but goal scoring. Streaking down the far side, it's Zane. Oh, just cannot get around the corner.
I was watching Crayus creeping up the field, kind of lurking towards the 18 if that ball had been able to be patrolled. You see Dylan Zane.
Now Hope Gund, who's played very well in his now 15 games and 12 starts. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the half. I don't even want to guess at what any halftime adjustments might be as we get another stoppage with another player on the ground. This time it's Shamarzadi. And they're going to have the trainer come over and check him out. He must be bleeding.
And we didn't see the collision this time.
No, I missed it.
I mean, it was, at least it looked like it was with Zane from this.
Shamarzadi wants to be on one side of the field because he has to be there in his position. And it's the second time the official's like, no, you're going to exit to this side of the field. That's where you're going to enter back in.
All right, so we're going to get a chance to look at the replay here.
Oh, it's an inadvertent arm.
Oh, I see what it was there.
Yeah, Zane went up to play it and has arms up to balance himself, and he didn't know Shamarzadi was coming behind him. He just made inadvertent contact. That might have been the first completely innocent contact we've seen today. And you see Coach Chapone wondering when Shamarzadi can come back in. Play's got to get whistled back in as we get a drop ball.
Well, they always teach you to follow through, but not with your arms.
No, not that way necessarily. At some point, things will ratchet up and the officials are going to have to start reaching for cards. I hope it doesn't happen and affect the game, but it certainly did last night in the Connecticut College game, where a second yellow to one of the WNL players caused them to go a man down. One that individuals we're still talking about today. As the Camels quickly played into the corner.
And you're, of course, referring to the second card that was given to Michael Cutson-Zera.
Yeah, Cutson-Zera.
For Washington Lee.
Well, there's a little bit of Crayus tried to get the official to buy into a foul that wasn't there.
Great job by Amherst staying with that in front of its own bench.
Yep.
Giamatti had tried to play it back to the sideline with Shamirzadeh.
Great recovery defense that time from Kelagoglu. And we get another stoppage here. And something must have been said. Something must have been said at the end of this. Oh, wow. Yeah. Both guys were going at each other. The conversation is with Tenkate.
That's a tough foul there. I mean, that was really a 50-50 ball.
Tenkate must have said something because it immediately drew the attention of the official, who had a very long conversation. The amount of time you were watching that replay was the amount of time he was talking to him.
Novak's played some big minutes here for Amherst and the staff.
Steele.
Played 30 minutes yesterday. And he's got some left in the tank.
47 seconds left here. Nice turn by Giamatti. They're going to call a foul, though. And I think it looked worse by the way Cerezo hit the deck. I think Giamatti did a nice job of screening him out. I think it just looked worse than it really was. Nope, I'll take that back.
Yep,
he put that foot out tactfully, let's say. That's a professional foul. I think he put it out perfectly to try and get the turn, but at the same time remove the defender from the equation. Tip of the hat. 10 seconds left to go here in the half. And the Camels, who certainly I would argue have played better in the second quarter of this game, though don't get many shots off. And we will be scoreless for. Oh, no, I did it wrong. Sorry, 2025 is Salem.
I'm just thinking about Vegas. The next 45 minutes in Vegas.
So we're underway. Connecticut College in the home white uniforms, white shorts, white socks with a little bit blue on the shoulders. They're now going left to right across your screen. Amherst in the black uniforms, black shorts, black socks with dark purple numbers. They're going left to right now as we are back underway here in the second half of soccer action between these two NESCAC foes. A game Amherst won 2-0 earlier this season. I'm sure Connecticut College has been closely following Amherst the rest of the season. Didn't get a chance to see him in the NESCAC tournament. But wow, what a way to... Why is the flag up if Shuma didn't play the ball? Is it because he at least became a little bit of a smile there out of Wu? I'm just wondering if because Shuma engaged kind of in a forward check, as it were, they blew it dead because he was involved in the play even though he never touched it. You don't see that. It's rare.
Amherst, Connecticut, I thought they looked like two very different teams in the first half, and I'm shocked, quite frankly, knowing what time Amherst got home last night and what time the game ended, how much energy that they've come out with. They only, as we're going to get a foul here, they've only gone to the bench for 3 subs, and Kabedu and Novak were the only 2 that played significant minutes. Sung came on for, 4 minutes at the end? Meanwhile, Connecticut, they should, in theory, have the fresher legs here in the second half. 7 subs, all of whom played between 5 and 25 minutes. I think the biggest sub that they made, by the way, was getting Shuma out. He only played for 27. Yeah, so you talk about 17, another. So got 32 minutes of inaction he had to try to get some legs ready for this. You know it's going to be a juicy, emotionally charged second half.
Rube kicks that off of Scafone, and it'll be a goal kick after Scafone kept it from going out of the sideline.
By the way, these teams have played 25 times since 1997. Amherst 17-4-4 in that span.
Okoregeye with it. And starting this second half is Kabedu, who has it on his right foot, tries to line drive it into the box.
There's a bit of jersey tug there going around the corner.
Almost got the top half of his jersey pulled off of him. This one to the back post, no one home there. Maidenberg follows it across. Looks like mainly the starters out there. Kabedu is starting the second half for Amherst.
I don't know if you saw Giamatti at the tail end of that send into the box, putting his arm in the air, telling his teammate, good idea.
A little bit of a hold there, no call. Going to free up.
He's onside.
Scafone, yeah. He's going to rifle it with the right foot, and that thing just curled away from the post.
And that should be the first shot of the game for Connecticut. Yep. And, Scafone did a good job of hovering around the last defender and making sure that he was onside. Watch this play develop again. And then coming over to defend it at the last second was Felix Wu. And that forced a shot wide.
Shuma jumps past the ball. Amherst now on the attack again. Oh, it ends up near Giamatti. He's got 2 Camels with him at all times.
And normally clearing the ball here and waiting for numbers is a good move, but when you got Bryce Johnson.
Johnson's going to come up, and we'll see how interesting this will get.
I mean, we know it's going to be interesting because every time he has the ball in his hands, it's a show. About 10 to 15 yards of space between the touchline and the wall. Don't know how much space he needs.
This one's a line drive, unfortunately. He held on to it a split second too long. As Scafone has it on his foot. Somehow gets it around him. No, now it's trouble. Kabedu's got it, and he uses the right foot but misses the near post. We know Kabedu's got the ability to absolutely rifle one. That's how they won last night on a low screamer. Speaking of rifling shots, Suma, who had just had it a moment ago, blasted one home to tie it against Washington Lee last night. And the Camels come from behind win. Doyle tries to get it up to Shuma. Out of bounds. It'll belong to the Mammoths.
And once again, that's Felix Wu applying the pressure. We've been saying his name quite a bit, the left center back for the Mammoths. And
going to get a stoppage here and a conversation with individuals about shoving. And Johnson apparently didn't hear the whistle to stop play. They're going to have a conversation with Doyle, who's the one who had the extra shove with, here you see it, Shamrazadi. He took the ball. Shamrazadi didn't like it, shoved Doyle. I have the feeling the conversation is you had no need to pick up that soccer ball. Granted, Connecticut College thought it was their throw-in.
Shamrazadi with the throw. I think it's the first time somebody other than Johnson
Agreed.
has thrown it in.
Connecticut College trying to go down the left side now. Shuma's got in the middle of the field, draws attention from two Mammoth players.
But Connecticut's got no space to work with.
No, Amherst doing a really nice job of closing down the space once somebody's got a ball on their foot. No, and they didn't close down the space here. Leaving it back, Shuma the blast, and it goes over the crossbar. The feed coming from Jurin.
But even on this attempt here, and obviously a lot of pace on the shot from Shuma, pressure the entire time, ball comes across, and immediately converging on a ball is Wu right there.
Yeah.
And not giving up an easy shot. And
didn't realize how well Wu was in on that play. As you see the two of them.
That was 10 yards over the goal, but right waiting for that. Hope Gunn, hands up. He was anticipating that attempt. But just watch. The one thing that's impressed me the most tonight is, and a lot more so tonight than yesterday against Chicago, is just the ability to swarm Connecticut. Every time, 2-3 players around the ball. Trying to switch fields, blocked by Giamatti. Every single time they're disrupting the paths that the Camels are trying to work with. And
Maidenberg will have it played back to him. He's going to have to play it in a hurry as Giamatti was coming up to threaten.
This looks just a couple years ago when Amherst was in the final against Tufts. Tufts, it was a 2-0 final, I believe. And I thought Tufts outplayed him in every aspect of the game. And
Shamrazadi plays it back. That was an initial shot from Kabedu.
I wanted to pause there as the play developed, but I think Amherst, there's a lot of players on this team who have that memory of that game still in their head, Dave, and just a different approach. You can feel it with the energy when they came out in warm-ups tonight. It was different than yesterday.
Shamrazadi frustrated with, as you see the earlier attempt here, Shamrazadi playing it back, Kabedu playing that. Shamrazadi tried to play a ball for Giamatti to the left. Giamatti didn't go. Giamatti thanked him for the effort, and Shamrazadi actually frustrated with him. Kind of like, gotta go, and very emphatic with his reaction to him. You don't normally see that with this Amherst group, at least at this level. Oh, what a way to keep that inbounds by Doyle. Cuts back, good defense from Shamrazadi, and it's out of bounds for the throw-in for the Camels.
Again, it goes back to what we're talking about, smothering them. They had no lanes to work with.
Keddy feeds it in the middle, and then it's floated over the top a little too far, and it's an easy handle for Hope Gund, who then just boots it downfield quickly, trying to catch the Camels unprepared. Shamrazadi is going to get
He'll get that. Right in front of the official, easy call against Bruce Doyle.
He got shielded off by Doyle. I'm not sure. The official didn't like, I don't know if he liked the the reaction toward him or not. I'll say this
about.
Why aren't you calling it? Well, I haven't had a chance to.
I was going to say, I'll say this about Ruben Burke's squad, head coach in his 3rd season with the Camels, is, despite all the frustration that Amherst has given them tonight, they still feel calm and patient out there. There's not that sense of urgency, like you would if you're down 1-0 or if you haven't had opportunities.
Badu going back post, going up for it, and they're going to call.
Be offside.
No, they're going to call it out of bounds. I think they called that out of bounds because he wasn't offsides. He was streaking in on the kick. Yeah, and with the guys close as they are, that's a goal kick. So that one went over the line. Shahrazadi gets ahead on that, but Doyles tries to settle it. Now he has no space as Okoregeye comes in. Now it's Kubadu who steps in. Nanga College gets it back, but they're struggling here. Okoregeye's got it. And the toe poke through, just missed the opportunity. Nice little play there from Tengate. Amherst playing a little bit like they did in the first half. The intensity is a little bit lower, but they're still a step faster right now than Connecticut. Okoregeye's got the ball now on his foot, and they're going to call a foul on Jaron, saying that he got Okoregeye and not the ball. So a dangerous kicking opportunity here.
Let's watch this again. Jaron going against Ogo. Reggae goes down and clips his left ankle.
I think he got a bit of ball there. As that next play, though, unfortunately, Mainberg's able to come out easily and quickly to pick up the ball.
I think a little bit of a sell there by Okoregeye, and you know what? It's close enough where the official's going to make that whistle.
That's going to be a free kick for Connecticut College. 10K came up, and instead of playing the ball, played Scuffone. And so it'll be a similar kick to a moment ago that Amherst had from about the same distance. I'm not sure Camels, other than Shuma, have anybody who can blast it from this deep. So this will probably be a play over the top.
Jaron had the assist last night on the game winner, so we know he's able to put the ball into a tight window. He had, 2-3 feet to work with on that dive winner by Jonas.
33 minutes left here. Also there is Horvath Diano.
Depends what kind of look you want.
Going to be a line drive to the top of the 6, and they had a chance there.
When we talk about windows, look what he slotted that into, Dave.
Bucchetti was the one flying in there. Check it out again. As we get a sub, we'll have you in just a... Yeah, wow, that was tight. Bucchetti was there, so was Gear Guy.
I mean, it was like a Tom Brady pass down the sideline, hitting it into a window. We have to, we got two New England teams. I got to make a...
No, he's down in Tampa now. Doyle out, by the way, and into the game comes Mendo.
I'm a Giant fan. He's always a Patriot to me.
32 minutes left.
I may not be well liked after that comment.
Yeah, I don't know why you brought that up. 32 minutes left here in the second half. Still a scoreless game between NESCAC foes, Camels and Mammoths. Of course, and if you're not familiar with the NESCAC, full of interesting mascots. You got the Camels, the Mammoths, the Bantams, the Jumbos.
The Eefs.
The Eefs, the Bobcats, the Polar Bears, the Colonels. 31:40 left to go in this big battle between these two teams. Is a nice lead by Jonas, gets it back, gonna go left foot back corner. He got a hand on it. Did Hope Gunner? That could have gone in.
I think that was in if he did not backpedal at the last second. He reached out with the right hand and just enough. Let's watch this replay as he pokes it past the back post. That's going in, Dave.
It is going in.
That's going in about 2 feet low of the crossbar.
Yeah, that's going in if Hope Gunn doesn't get a hand on it. That's as close as it can get, and that was a beautiful shot by Jonas. Got a little bit of space, which they haven't been getting, and they get their first corner kick of the game. Giron's taking the kick. with 31 minutes as we got another stoppage to have a conversation about the decorum on the goal line with a play. This is almost every single one of them. And the official being a little more demonstrative now with his warnings. So 31:03 now on the clock. And again, it'll be Giron with the in-swinger. Oh, that's a great in-swinger, too. Headed up and in! Connecticut College draws the first goal as it's headed in by Girjai.
We haven't said his name a lot tonight, but suddenly out of nowhere, Augie Girjai, his 6th goal of the year, and he finally is able to break through it.
Check this out. This is a great in-swinger.
Amazing in-swinger
and
there.
He's being hugged on the play.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of obstruction there, but
Wu has got him around the waist. Look at that. He's got him by the totally giving a hug, and he still gets up in the air and buries that one.
You called that perfectly there. He absolutely was wrapped up like a cornerback. And Girjai somehow elevated. But talk about the ball, though. But Rai Duran, he had the winner last night.
That is a gorgeous ball.
A couple moments ago, we had one where we talked about him threading the needle, and this one just right on the money. And Girjai, who has been silent all night, not so silent right now. And after that goal, I look quickly down to the Amherst bench, and they all quickly got in a circle to try to regroup.
And so did the team out on the field. And by the way, it's all set up from a beautiful shot initially from Jonas that nearly went in as well. Unbelievable. Now Amherst really on the back foot after being the aggressor most of this game. It is going to be a free kick at midfield, and they're going to call Shamrazadi for that as he clipped Mendo as Mendo was going by.
And
if you're the Camels, though, you cannot rest on a 1-0 lead against this Amherst squad.
No, and Amherst is going to continue to press up the field.
Absolutely.
Listen, Hope Gunn has played one of the finer tournaments as a goalkeeper I have seen in the, 5-6 years you and I have been doing this, men or women.
Yeah, he didn't have any choice. He didn't have a chance on that one.
There's no chance on that.
It was in the perfect spot where coming out is too risky.
And remember, he doesn't make that, backpedaling play a moment ago.
It's
Watch this
anyway.
play develop.
Oh, no, here comes Giamatti. He's got a breakout opportunity. Tries to cross it over the right foot. Doesn't work. Tries again. That one cleared out. Good work on the defensive end by Kelagoglu. And we will get a throw-in that will be dangerous with Johnson coming over. Check it out again. Watch him try to use the right foot.
Yeah, he tried to push it back to the right flank because he knew that he had Okogere wide open on that post if he could get it through, but all right, we'll see now what Bryce Johnson's able to do because Amherst is certainly going to be coming out rejuvenated.
Into the game for the first time, Johnny Novak from London, 5'10", sophomore midfielder wearing number 18. He replaces Murphy. Here comes the flip throw, and this one is also a line drive on the ground, but still an opportunity. Johnson will settle. This is where he crossed it for the game winner last night. They try to play it back to him. Nothing there. Camels with some energy. Clear it out. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in.
And I don't necessarily look at that as a misfire like the one he had earlier, which clearly was, because as that ball snakes through, it's creating opportunities they're not getting those kind of looks earlier in the game. Before that, it's always been over the top, looking for that post, looking for the head coming through the body, the sea of bodies. But, Amherst has to continue to kind of mix up the looks that they're giving to this Connecticut defense.
Camels lead the Mammoths 1-0 in this D3 men's soccer championship game from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm Dave McHugh. He's Ira Thor. Amherst has controlled possession for much of this game.
All it takes, though, is one strike, Dave, and first real dangerous opportunity the Camels have had, and they were able to finally cash through.
Amherst had the ball 54% of the time in the first half, with 27% of their possessions being in the offensive quarter, up in the box, essentially.
And I kind of string those two plays together, right? You have the save by Hope Gunn.
Absolutely. Leading
to the corner. That was the most dangerous sequence, and really, quite frankly, to me, the only one that really kind of forced Amherst to back on its heels so far in this entire match.
Okogeye cannot control it there. Jonas now has it. He had the shot that set up the corner kick.
Prior to that, Amherst defensively has kind of looked in control, even when Connecticut was pressing forward.
Stepping up as Mendo can't control it, goes out of bounds. And it'll be a throw and a quick one for Shemrazadi. And it is Kabedu who's trying to attack from that wing, but he is shielded out of the play by Buchetti. Now up ahead, Girjai, who gets, they're going to say he got stepped on, and I think it might be a card here.
That card is coming out.
Yep, we saw him reach into the pocket, and his frustration from Novak, who's into this game, and Giamatti is, no, it's actually not. It's Gittler.
Yeah.
Giamatti comes up to tell Gittler to stop talking. I think Giamatti understanding that a second card is going to kill Amherst going a man down. Oh, he came in with cleats up. That's why. He came in with cleats up and made contact on the leg, and when you've got your studs up, and especially if the official can see the studs, that's going to be a card. And so first booking of the game goes against Gittler. Amherst with about 35 yellow cards this season, just one straight red. 27 minutes left to go here in the contest. That the Camels now lead 1-0. Trying to find Shuma up front. It'll bounce to him. Trying to settle it. He'll play it back to Girjai. Girjai looks like he was loading up on the right foot there, but defense steps up. Shemrazadi shutting that option down. Jonas trying to get around. Camels getting movement in the offensive quarter, which they haven't had, but then Mendo turns it over. Kabedu and Shemrazadi playing a tic-tac-toe game there, and now they'll throw it in. A good 15 yards forward from where it went out of bounds. And the fourth official reminding them of such. Shemrazadi is, he's very angry. Shemrazadi, I think, is borderline on getting a card himself, and that's going to be a slide tackle from behind. Yes, he got the ball, but he came from behind.
Yeah, it was the follow through on Yomis.
And now Shemrazadi. Oh, I thought he was going to get a. It's just they're trying to position the ball here.
Watch this again, and as he slides through, it's the follow as he takes out the right ankle.
Also just can't come from that angle. You got to get the ball clean. Our official's coming all the way over, and he's going to talk to Justin Serpone, who seems understanding of whatever was said. The fans aren't happy with it, but this is a very dangerous look for Amherst, as I think that is Gittler who's going to take this kick.
Somebody should take this photo and put it on the cover of all the Division III soccer.
Oh, it's a perfect shot, right?
You got Amherst on one side, you got Connecticut on the other side.
So the logo
framing the logo,
yeah.
It's perfect.
It's a line drive top of the box, not what they wanted, but it gets flicked into the 6. It's headed over, but a defensive clear in the top of the box.
Yeah, big play too, because Maidenberg overcommitted, and Giamatti, I believe it was, had a backwards header looking at the goal.
If it wasn't Giamatti, it was it could have been Kabedu. Check it out again.
Take a look in. Somebody with perfect hair had that.
Looks like it was Kabedu. No, it was Giamatti who flicked it. Oh no, that's
it actually was none of the above.
No, it was Johnson. Again, tough to see the numbers from our vantage point, especially when we see the front end, and we have another big collision back here, and now Shuma's going to get a yellow card for that. As the bookings are now official for both sides, as Shemrazadi takes a seat on that hit. Let's see it again. Yeah, it's a cleat up move again. Oh, he just flat out ran through him too.
There's no need for that.
Nope. And we'll get a whole host of subs for the Camels here once we get the opportunity. Shemrazadi, in the meantime, is going to be taking this kick from just over midfield, and they're lined up on the 18, expecting it to be served into a dangerous position. 25:38 left to go in this championship game. It is served into a dangerous position all the way down to the 6 nearly. It's loose in the box. Okoyogere brings it down in the 12, can't turn, then feeds into the corner. Save? No, it'll be a goal kick.
Good eyes by the AR2 on the far side to see that go over the line.
Quick subs coming in for Connecticut College. Chorizo comes back in. We see Pio Shun for the first time in the second half.
Crayus also back out there.
Crayus and Marvel returning. They are giving Dotterwijk, Scafone,
They take out Gearguy,
who is, and they probably just want to get him a break. And I missed who the fourth one might have been.
Dukovic is also out.
Yep, Dukovic out. So,
Gearguy did his job. Obviously, no.
Well, they just need to give him some time.
Listen, at this point, he's got the goal that Connecticut they were craving, right?
Yep.
Amherst has been pressing them down their throats this entire game. And now it's forcing Amherst to kind of switch up.
You brought out some key defenders here, and Amherst is going to get the throw here.
But it's now going to force Amherst to kind of mix up what it's doing.
Johnson with a heave.
Look at this far post.
Went all the way to the back end of the 6-yard box. It's headed out by Mendo, who then gives chase, and it goes out of bounds. And Johnson was already midway across the field getting ready for another throw-in.
Now, of course, you can't throw the ball directly into the goal, but
no.
I'm looking at the back post, which is wide open. The ball gets loose there.
Do it again. This one is back post. Maidenberg is up, and he slaps it out. And it is Creus who is bringing it down the left side and still has it. A little bit of a mini breakout. Hope Gunn was way out of the box trying to present options up, and it's going to be a foul called as – oh, no, they called him – no, they called, an offsides on Schuma. Schuma was offsides? I'll admit, that surprised me. Schuma comes up hurt from that play.
I would like to see that replay. I didn't think Schuma was offside.
I mean, the ball came across midfield, and I thought Schuma was trailing the play. He's trailing the play. He's trailing the play. He's no longer
right there.
Trailing the play.
Yep. Good call.
In the meantime, on the other side of things, Okorogeye tried to throw that into the middle of the field.
Fans, we do apologize. That's not the easiest name in the world.
It's one of those where you nail it and then you lose it.
I mean, how many times did we practice that name and we still?
Oh, big opportunity up the top of the box for Kubedu.
By the way, it's a lot of credit to the official because, I mean, both of us thought live that was not an offside, and you slow it down, you look and replay. So these guys able to see it live and get it right the first time.
The official actually, I think, just lost his whistle. He's reaching for a backup as he got accidentally collided with Pioshun in the middle of the field. He's now going back, I think, to pick it up. He's standing on top of it, so I hope he knows it's there. Ball out of bounds.
Do you have to wash it off first?
No, he just put it in his back pocket. He switched whistles. He had a white whistle, now he's gone to a black whistle. And we got a stoppage here. And we're going to get another booking? We get subs. We have a stoppage of the clock. And a talk with the Connecticut College bench.
Jake Guerin will check in.
I think just the extracurricular in front of the bench. He finally finds the head coach and has another conversation with him. And our official, again, our center is Eric Tattersall, who's done a pretty good job with this game. He's allowed the play, but he's also had conversations and carded when necessary late in this game so far. 22 minutes remaining. Again, if you're just tuning in, Amherst has been in control of much of this game, but trail 1-0 on a beautiful corner kick opportunity for the Camels of Connecticut College. And now Amherst on the back foot. Oh, Okorogeye through traffic, taken out in the box, no whistle. Good sportsmanship from Buchetti to reach down, and now a Camel player is hit the deck. That appears to be Creus. With 21.5 minutes left.
And a rare errant pass there, a little bit of a lazy pass for the Mammoths. And now breakaway bid here for the Camels.
Yeah, Guerin trying to break through. A nice defensive effort there from Gittler. Kubedu somehow turns the corner up ahead to Giamatti, and he loses the ball to
Cerizio with a huge slide tackle coming in because had Giamatti broken through, wide open on the left flank.
Now Jonas with some great footwork into the offensive half. Our guys probably have about 6 replays queued up at this point because I would like to see what happened to Okorogeye in the box. Not that I'm saying it was a call. I'm curious what the official saw that didn't warrant a whistle. Blast from deep is going to go out of bounds.
Mendo on the right flank has his arms flail in the air, letting his guys know, hey, I'm open.
Here's Okorogeye. Now he played the ball.
Yep.
Played the ball.
His right leg right on top of the ball.
Yep.
And Oko
Thank you, guys.
Rogeye after just tripped over him.
Thank you, the production team.
What we didn't see was on the play that ensued following that, you had Giamatti, if he was able to sneak through. Shamirzadeh was sprinting down the left flank and certainly had some daylight to work with.
Johnson will load up again for a flip kick. Hope Gunn now is nearly to midfield, and they need to start pushing numbers up. Amherst has got a guy now on the line. They've kind of put one there a lot. This is going back post yet again, top of the 6. Maidenberg is out. He doesn't touch it, though. Has to retreat. Kabedu could not get to that ball. And it's a quick breakout here. Opportunity for Garan, who slows things down a moment to
Amherst
get numbers.
only had 3 backs.
Yep, here it comes. Here they come. Creus now with the ball onto his left foot, into the box. Can't get control. Taken out. No. I think it was incidental contact, honestly.
I think there was also another good non-call.
Yes, agreed. Right in front of the official with 19:15 remaining.
Now, if you were watching that live, you did see 2 camels coming up on the left side, but I think they may have been offside.
Now they are.
No,
he played the ball.
I take it back. Johnson came back, so he stayed onside.
Well,
I stand correct.
And again, another situation. In that case, it was Shamirzadeh who played the ball. Battle for it on the end line. Oh, it doesn't go out. The official right on top of it as they both play it from the seat of their pants. 18:45 remaining. Camel is starting to feel confident. Jonas steps up, goes through a couple guys, gets taken out, and they're going to call Jonas for a dive.
Yep.
Jonas is going in the book for a dive. The yellow card is in hand. Jonas can't believe it, but he's getting booked, and he knows it, and he runs away. He tried to bait a penalty kick here. He's going to go between 2 guys who are standing still. Yeah. Nobody. No. Nope. He tried to sell, and the official wasn't buying.
And you know what? I appreciate officials that make that call, Dave. It's part of the game, and we both love this sport. It's part of the game we both want to see go away.
Absolutely. I agree. We were talking about with our production crew the difference in the men's and women's games, and that part of it is just it's got to be removed.
I mean, they're doing a good job in other sports, basketball at the college level this year, really emphasizing the flop, right?
Yep.
And you're seeing now the officials certainly making a point of emphasis here in the collegiate level.
Well, that stayed in bounds, and that's tough to do. We should point out that side of the field real quick slopes away. And so when that ball gets over to that end line or that sideline, it's sloping away, and that was saved from going out of bounds, you were saying?
And it was interesting, by the way, I walked the field before this game.
Giamatti up ahead to Shaz. It's going to go out for a throw, and he tried to find Shamirzadeh. Yeah.
But the slope going out of bounds on the right side, I believe, is far greater than on the left side.
No, I agree with you. Down on the right corner from our vantage point, no, it's definitely more slope than it is on the left side. Absolutely agree with you.
All right, so here's Bryce Johnson's magic.
Again, let's see what we can do here. Well, shout out to Mark Beddix, who I just saw in the camera shot, because he deserves it. Hardworking man from the NCAA. And that one was, I think, a misfire. Caught the midsection of.
Well, I think they're trying to go low on the near post because it's open. If they can put somebody on the near side as the ball comes through, they have a look there that it's one-on-one.
Good defense there. Trying to get back to his feet is Kelly. As they boot it downfield, time running out here for Amherst in the second championship game in a row, where they find themselves trailing late. The difference is they have been more in control of this game than they were 2 years ago against Tufts. But they still find themselves with no goals. This one down by 1 with 17 minutes to go.
But we talked about winning different segments of the game, and Connecticut had that 15-minute segment.
Okorigeye with the ball, nearly loses it. Kabedu on the far side. Nice little footwork to keep it from going out of bounds. Into the corner, and that's going to be a foul called apparently on Kelazoglu. And so it'll be a hybrid of a corner kick here.
It'll be a corner from about
it's going to be
10
further
yards
up
in.
Yeah, they're going to maybe 6. Dangerous situation here because Amherst can certainly crash, and nothing against Maidenberg, but he's been coming off his line aggressively, and a couple times has been mistimed it.
Well, what do you do here? Do you try to curl it over the wall to the back post? Do you try to put it to the top of the 18 and allow somebody to crash through? There's a couple different options.
I think it's a two-man wall. Maybe you're aiming for the back post 6 area.
I mean, Bryce Johnson's camping out right now at the 18.
It's a near post run and a nice defensive. That was a near post attempt. Near defense was on it. I kind of like that one. That was a good option. Trying to put it back in. Oh, nearly sprung him. Not an opportunity in the box. Defense collapses. Ball is still loose at the top of the 6. Not out of danger yet. Poked back in, top of the 6, punched out. Another shot coming. It rattles around in the box, and finally the Camels are able to clear after Amherst got half a dozen chances.
I mean, I don't know what else you have to do if you're Amherst. Opportunity after opportunity, and each time Connecticut's been up to the challenge. Balls aren't bouncing more than once or twice in the box before they're getting out.
Coming up on the final 15-minute segment of this game.
And another good defensive play there, and actually that ends up being a great defensive play by Mendo because it forces the throw from another 20 yards back.
Check this out. Maidenberg punches it out. Top that shot did.
1-2 bounces, and they get to it and clear it.
And a whole host of Camels come in, and Amherst has not gone as deep into the bench. They do bring in, for the first time, Sean Rapal. He hasn't played this weekend from Los Gatos, California. You know why? He's 6'8". Let's put a big head on a target here inside. And they do that. In the meantime, a whole host of Camels return, including a good core of their defensive unit. 14.5 minutes left. Johnson for the throw. This one's going back post. Oh, geez. Rapal almost got a head on that. Running in the wrong direction.
Here comes Maidenberg.
Wow. Yeah, he goes up against Okoregeye and comes down with the ball after Novak punched that back into the box. 14 minutes left, and you start to wonder how long until these throw-ins are also going to include Hope Gund and his 6'4" target coming out of the back line. Camels looking for another one to put a cherry on top of this if they can. Jonas. That might be a corner kick.
It is?
It is. That went off of a Mammoth player right before it went over the line.
I think it was last touched by Tenkate.
Mendo's coming out of the attack.
I mean, it's a tough spot to defend there, Dave, right? You saw with Amherst coming, with Connecticut coming through earlier.
Oh, right off of his foot.
On the end line and not wanting something zipping across the box. So you have to try to cut it off, but you also don't want to give up this opportunity down a goal. And
Giamatti was trying to hide, by the way, near midfield. We'll talk about that in a second as this one curls to the top and Rapal will head it out of the trouble. Giamatti was hanging out as if he was coming out of the game, and the Camels sent Mendo back. Opportunity here, headed back across by Gearguy, who has what is right now the game-winning goal.
And he is certainly woken up after being dormant for the first 30 to 40 minutes. You know, Connecticut's never been in a national final before in any sport. In fact, the only other time they've been in a Final Four was way back in 1999 in basketball. They were actually the #1 ranked team in the country at the time.
Men's basketball, yep.
And I actually broadcasted that game. I was a senior in college, but it was down in Salem as they lost to Hampton-Sydney. And then Hampton-Sydney ended up losing to Wisconsin-Platteville in the final. Platteville, coached by legendary Coach Bo Ryan.
One of the more incredible Division III men's basketball games that has ever been played.
76-75.
Championship games, I should say. 12 minutes left to go here in this men's soccer championship. Shuma miskicks that, but ends up to Mendo.
Connecticut, by the way, did finish third that year, beating William Patterson.
Yeah, we had a consolation game at the time. Oh, wow, a little nutmeg action there. Intended or otherwise from Jonas. Jonas tries to go to Shuma. Shuma gets rubbed off the play and is going to come up more worse for wear as Novak made sure he didn't have a shot at the goal with 11.5 minutes left. Hope Gunn not wasting any time and miskicks this, it appears. Okoregeye trying to run onto it, gets ahead to it, and now going to try and get down the line. He has many Camels around him. 11:20 to go. Connecticut College clinging to a 1-0 lead. Johnson comes up to throw this in, and they bring pretty much everybody but one defender and the goalie up into the box. Hope Gunn actually, I think, was thinking he might go in. He's now retreated. He's still at midfield. Johnson, the flip throw. This is going to get to the top of the 6. Paul almost got his head on that. It goes out for a corner kick with 10:50 remaining. Just the second corner kick Amherst has seen all night. Doing the honors will be Kubetu, and it'll be an in-swinger off his right foot. Amherst always sets up with everybody on the line before they end up moving. This one, top of the 6, and somehow gets through. Maidenberg tried to get a hand on it. I'm not sure he did.
I think he did. I think he got a partial deflection as that one skipped through.
Camels try to break out here. Mendo up front, and Hope Gunn's going to play it from 30 yards out. Jonas, who's played tremendously well today. Again, he's got the shot that would have gone in that led to the corner kick that resulted in what is the game winner right now. Up ahead to Schuma. Schuma to Mendo. Mendo takes the right shot. And it goes off of Gittler.
Too many numbers here for Mendo to work with. Well, let's watch this replay again as the ball comes through. Yep, just got the webbing of the glove.
Corner kick number 3 for the Camels.
You know how we as keepers grow attached to our gloves. Don't like to change them.
Amen.
That's a pair right there that has seen some soccer.
9:20 remaining as Horvath Diano will come up to take this corner. In swinger, back post. Hope Gunn easily collects it, and he's going to try and spring the offense here in transition.
It's 4 forwards against, or 2 forwards against 4 defenders, and the Camels get back quickly. But Giamatti still hasn't had a shot in this game.
Hats off to Scafone on that one. He's hung up Okoageye just long enough to get more Camels back in support. Up ahead to Schuma, but he came from an offsides position. I saw that from the corner of my eye.
Well, it's a quick restart here, but
yeah,
Giamatti
under 9 minutes to play.
Has no shots this entire weekend now, semifinal or final.
Rapal gets a head on it, but it doesn't go towards the goal.
You know, we talked about Girjai not having an active role until that goal, but they've been able to pretty much take Giamatti out of this game and out of this weekend. The way these 2 teams, Chicago and Connecticut, have defended.
It'll be Connecticut College throwing. Jonas has it with him, but he then dumps it, and Mendo will take it.
And Giamatti hasn't been.
We'll stop the clock here as Connecticut College is clearly trying to stall.
He hasn't been fully healthy for a while, and it's a lot of the abuse that he takes being defended so hard.
8:10 remaining. Amherst, who had high hopes coming into this one, find themselves down 1-0, yet they've had control of the game more than the Camels have.
Nice play.
Okoageye keeps control of the ball. Up ahead to Shamrazadi. And now a foul called as Giamatti gets taken out on the play.
Yeah, that's a good call there as Coles.
And I would argue he's down. And actually, they might be calling the original foul. They're going to stop it as Giamatti is slow to his feet. Yeah, they're calling the original foul on Okoageye as you see him take a seat there. Or Shamrazadi even got fouled. So they played a play on and then.
And spun around there, Kells Oglu on Giamatti, who's still slow to get to his feet.
Giamatti limping away as he's finally up.
So take your pick. There were probably 3 fouls in that entire sequence. They finally called the second of the 3, but Giamatti.
7:41 left.
He is certainly slow to his feet and limping around now.
Amherst running out of opportunities. We're going to get a stoppage here as another conversation is going to be had about decorum.
So that stops the clock with 7:41 to go.
It's already stopped. Official making sure clock is not wasted by anybody. Here comes a low screamer, and it's headed out of the box at least, and now out of bounds, so Johnson will come over for another throw-in. Into the game for Amherst comes Finn Hayton Ruffner, the Albany, California native, a freshman at 6'3". I can only imagine, Rapal's coming out.
Well, he's only played in 8 games.
Well, Rapal's out at a 6'8" frame, but they obviously want him to get back in soon. I see him bring him to center. Johnson's throw to this penalty spot. It's still loose. Okorogeye with the right foot, and it's blocked out maybe 3 yards from the goal line. Calling for a handball, the official not buying it. And Amherst convinced there was a handball, but again, if the ball plays the hand, they're not going to call that. Hope Gunn playing that from midfield.
That was Bacchetti, by the way, with the kick save and a butte.
Amherst trying to throw everything they can at it. Camel's now trying to throw everything they can at a second goal. Wu will clear it back.
Now Hope Gunn outside his 18, even as Connecticut continues to press up here.
6.5 minutes to go in this championship game. Amherst looking for the equalizer. Okorogeye now has it on his foot. He tries to go through 3 guys and somehow does. Breaks through the middle and then runs out of options.
He went through 6-7 guys by my count before he finally got slowed down, and now a foul will be called.
And we'll get another stoppage, and then we'll get a booking here. Back to the supposed handball. If that's where it is, it's a ball playing the hand. But that's actually, no, that's the initial save. How about that?
Yeah, that's the kick save they were
and
talking about by
here's where
Bacchetti.
the handball was supposedly at. No, that's not. He's got his hands to his side.
Hit him in the thigh.
If anything, it hit him in his shoulder. Nah, it's not a handball. So that's a good no call from the official. The booking is official, by the way.
So it's official from the official.
Yep, I said official too many times. .608 remaining. Connecticut College in its first ever championship game in any sport leads Amherst 1-0. This one played all the way into the box off the direct kick. Schuma's got it, plays it off to a teammate. Right foot shot, Hope Gunn with another save. Schuma rebound, left foot, missed it. Could have ended it right there.
Great diving punch save there by Hope Gunn, and my gosh, Schuma had an open look, just couldn't get it on frame.
Great little leave.
Watch the rebound. First of all, great read by Hope Gunn, punching it away, which is where you want it to be, and maybe just didn't push it far enough towards the end line.
Clock stopped. Conversation is had as you see another look at that shot opportunity as Schuma comes out. He must have gone down in injury. They subbed him out. That's why they stopped the clock. Even though it was over 5 minutes, the official felt they were taking too much time. Under 5 minutes, the leading team subs. It is a stoppage automatically of the clock. If it's above that, it's the discretion of the official. And Amherst is running out of gas. You can look up at Giovanni and Yoko Rogeye. They are literally just stuck in their feet right now as we get another sub.
I mean, they basically played 108 minutes last night. How much sleep could they really have gotten? Having to come back, less than 24 hours.
Marvel into the game, by the way, just to replace Scafone.
We talked about it briefly in the open, Dave, and they'll stop the clock yet again.
Apparently there was an injury as Shamrazadi had taken a knee on the sideline and is complaining with something in his upper leg.
Coaches kind of had mixed feelings on this, but talking to a number of coaches in this weekend on the men's and women's side, and more often than not, the opinion of the coaches, they want that day in between, not just here in the finals weekend, but throughout the tournament. To give these teams a chance to recover. Even in conference play, even if you play like UAA or NESCAC, you have multiple days in between the games, and it's almost unfair to the student-athlete experience.
Again, something like that would have to happen across the division in all sports.
Of course.
And that's why it hasn't happened as of yet, as a ball's going to go out of bounds, but they're going to say a foul. They're going to call a foul on Guerin. And they're going to stop the clock again.
And the Connecticut fans are not pleased with the clock being stopped, but it's going to force Amherst number 12, Wu, to come off the field.
Well, it's because of the injury. Wu was banged up, and so it's an injury timeout. So Zane will come in for Wu. 4:18 remaining. Hope Gunn will put a foot into this. this point, you might as well just stop at every whistle or out of bounds. We pretty much had a stoppage every time. Now Hope Gunn actually puts it up into the air, which is rare. Amherst with the head. A flick on to the top of the 18. Jonas tries to get out of trouble. Okoregeye's got it. Oh, still has it, looking for help.
4 Camels around him. They're going to get the corner out of this, but
Okoregeye is going to come over as if he's going to take the corner, and he will.
I mean, but you look at the commitment defensively for
won't.
Connecticut. They had 1 player up, and everybody else was back in the box converging. 3, 4, 5 swarming around every ball.
It'll be Gittler with the in-swinger on his left foot. Amherst huddling up at the top of the 18, and we'll get another stoppage.
Well, this official is certainly not allowing any of these stall tactics.
Well, he's also not allowing the shenanigans.
Well, that's shenanigans are stall tactics.
Well, no, this time it's whatever's going on at the top of the box. He didn't think something between the interactions with the players needed to be discussed.
Well, Gittler's got a pair of assists on the year. Does he have?
Hope Gunn, by the way, officially across his midfield. This one back post looking for a head. It hits a Camel's head. It doesn't go anywhere. Maidenberg has to punch it out. It's still in a dangerous position. Punched back in. Now headed across the middle, and the Camels are going to get a little bit of relief. And now a lot of relief. Hope Gunn's going to have to track this down. Retreating, which is not what you normally say. Nearly misplays it. 3 minutes remaining. Oh, near turnover in the back line, which would have been the end of it.
Well, that's where it's good to have a keeper who's 6'4", good with his head.
Yep.
And at his feet.
Across top of the box, trying to get to Giamatti, and it didn't happen. Played all the way down to an offsides position. He was offsides. So Hope Gunn will get the ball, and they'll kick it in. 2:45, the clock continues to roll. Camels looking for their first ever national championship. Amherst trying to at least get the equalizer and force a little bit of extra soccer. Kabedu over the top to Novak. Headed on, flicked on. Giamatti right foot off the head and face of Cerezo.
Doesn't even flinch.
Kabedu through that got through a little too easily. And it'll be a corner kick, 2:16 and counting.
Now they're saying it's a goal kick.
I thought it was a goal kick. Paul will come back in for Amherst. And you saw the replay there. It looked like it was a goal kick. Under 2 minutes to play. He'll go all the way to Hope Gunn, who's going to one-time it. All the way back to the 18. Amherst looking for the equalizer. Still 1:45 remaining in the season.
Bit of a jersey tug there.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that tonight. Up top to Jermaine, and they're going to call a foul late, and they're going to call a stoppage of the clock and a booking of Marvel. And the bodies are flying, and now so are the cards. 1:33 left. Hope Gunn lingering. He's not going to take this kick. It will be Kabedu.
And they're going to send Hope Gunn up.
Now
to get
he goes up.
Another big body, 6'4", involved.
They got to send him in.
What a storyline that would be if he scores the equalizer.
Just don't use your hand. I've seen goalies instinctually go up with their hands in these situations. 1:33 left. Kabedu will take the kick. He puts it to the top of the 6. Flicked on! That is in! Will it count? It will! Amherst has tied the game! Chaos in front of the goal, and Amherst ties it with 87 seconds left in regulation. And we're going to see it again because no one has
Kelly.
any idea who got a piece of that.
I thought it was Kelly.
No one has any idea. Here we see it again. The service from Kabedu. It is Kelly. He got his back on that.
He basically did a dance move on the line, spinning.
Yep, he gets it with his shoulder.
And then he basically walks it in.
Yeah, and then walks it in. I'm sorry, no. Yeah, Kelly. Kyle Kelly gets it from Kabedu. Kyle Kelly from Kabedu. We're tied with 87 seconds left.
His third goal of the season, and What a script.
Kibedu, if it sticks, will pick up his 4th assist of the game. Remember, Kibedu is the one that won it last night off the shot. He now gets the assist. Hey, listen, it didn't have to be pretty, right? Just has to go in.
Absolutely an assist for Kibedu there.
Out of bounds. It's going to belong to Amherst, who suddenly has the life with 75 seconds left.
And you know what? Credit to our official, because he had not stopped the clock to stop some of the shenanigans, to use your words.
Yeah.
Clock may have run out. That opportunity may never have presented itself.
Agreed. And I think it's fair. I think it's totally fair. Amherst wants to slow things down. They do not want to overcommit here. They also want to get a sub in. They're going to bring Murphy back into the game. They think they might be able to get the winner here. 50 seconds left. Johnson's going to chuck it in. Seen a little bit of everything. 40 seconds left. Johnson taking his time.
This could very well be the final play.
Johnson, the heave, going all the way into the 6. Camels get ahead on it. Tried to flick it back in. Herman actually got that into the box with 23 seconds left. Still a chance. You want to watch out the counter. Oko Rikeye following the goalie there has got to watch out too. Headed down, 12 seconds left. That's probably going to be it. Down to 6, and there's not enough time to get a ball across the goal line now. Couple minutes ago, to right. They're in the home whites, white shorts, white socks with a little bit of light blue over the top. And Amherst, for some reason, always, I get the idea of booting it all the way down there, but that time over-committed did Kibedu, and it goes all the way over the end line. Quick goal kick. And we're underway anyway here in the first overtime, should 2 need to be used. Wu gets fouled all the way back here by Shuma. We have had a few cards, by the way, handed out in a flurry there at the end of the second half.
3 so far on the Camels, 2 against the Mammoths, and foul totals quite healthy in this game, you would imagine. 17 or 27 between the teams. Gabe
Gittler, Lawrence Tenkate for the Mammoths, picking up cards for Connecticut. They've got Shuma, as that opportunity almost was a little more dangerous than I thought it would be. Jonas picked up a card, and Marvel. Shuma, in the meantime, has got it on his foot. Shot. Hope Gunn's got it covered. Check it out again. Shuma shrugs off one, takes the shot, and Hope Gunn actually reacts there like, yeah, I got it. As if that shot wasn't as strong as it probably was. Jonas heads it back. That wasn't Jonas, I apologize. That was Bacchetti. Jonas is in the middle of the field. That kicked out of bounds, and Amherst will throw it in from the far side.
Now this is a trickier spot because of the slant.
I think Johnson's starting to get tired. He's had a couple throws that just haven't been able to elevate like he wants to, but no surprise he's tired. He's been playing a lot of minutes here this weekend.
Does he have a pitch count over there on those throws?
There's definitely no pitch limitation on him. Mendo's got it on the near side for the Camels. They'll play it back to Jonas, now back to Mendo. Mendo trying to go down the line and will try and chase it now. Can he cross it? He will. Off of a head of a Mammoth, and so we'll get a corner kick here, just the 5th of the game for the Camels.
Yeah, Wu eventually had to head this one onto the neighboring field, but all the credit here to Jorge Mendo, who made something out of nothing. There was nothing working in this play, and now they have a chance to win it here on a corner, on an in-swinger.
Jonas, who's got the captain's armband, who drilled a shot that had to be saved that led to the corner kick that got the first goal up. He puts this one top of the 6, and there is a good look that goes over the crossbar to the near side.
And that was Bacchetti with the header. But look, Jonas last night with the winner, a chance to be a hero again, and puts it right into a perfect spot just outside the 6. And Bacchetti got a piece on it, but he certainly had bodies around him.
Under 7 minutes to play here in overtime. 1-1 between these two NESCAC foes. Connecticut College in their first ever championship game, not only as a program, but as a institution have never seen anything better than one other, as you pointed out earlier, championship weekend appearance by their men's basketball program, breaking through this season. And Amherst in their second one in 2 years.
I mean, you already have one first-time champion with the Christopher Newport captains, and Connecticut certainly having that opportunity to become the second one. But even if they don't win, this is great for Division III soccer. Just so many more programs stepping up and being on the stage.
Johnson, the flip throw. This one has some airtime on it. Yoko Regeye cannot control it, though. Out of bounds for the Camels to throw in. Endo will do that. Endo getting a lot of time where he didn't have as much last night. It's interesting, Connecticut College, the one going deeper on the bench than Amherst has done tonight. Though Amherst did late in the game get to more subs. Kabedu on his foot. He ended it last night. Cannot get a shot off in that opportunity. Yoko Regeye up ahead. Now it's on to Giamatti. Hasn't had a shot all weekend. Certainly he's had the ball on his foot, just hasn't gotten a shot off.
Somebody like him draws a lot of attention, don't get a lot of space to shoot.
He's also the kind who will end this game quickly if given the opportunity. 5 minutes left to go here in what could be the first of 2 overtimes. Johnson will throw it in, again from the far side. Yep, runs uphill on this throw, a little bit uphill.
Both ways in the snow.
And he's definitely not barefoot, though. 11 shots each for both teams. I just said that twice. 3 saves for Amherst, 1 single save for Connecticut College.
It's more of a floater lob.
Right, it gets to the 12. Opportunity still alive. Wu tried to kick it back. Giamatti's got it. Double teamed. It's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick.
Giamatti worked just so hard, though, trying to break free, ping-ponging off of defenders, and ultimately not able to get full possession there. But you certainly see Johnson getting tired on these throws. First time that he's kind of airmailed one.
Dear guy in. He's going to replace Schuma. Yeah.
So they trade one cannon foot for another.
Amherst heads that kick back. Things have quieted down a little bit, even on the field. They're battling for it. Now they'll call a foul on Amherst. Is that Novak or Doyle's the one that got fouled?
I think it was Murphy with the foul, number 13.
Coming to the near side now. So Rizzo kicks it back to Maidenberg. Maidenberg will switch fields. 3.5 minutes left, and they're just playing keep away in the back now. Got to be careful. Maidenberg, and that's going to be Camel's throwing.
Off of Murphy's head there, but there's really no right way to play a game like this, right? You come in with what you think might be a set plan, and you have to make so many adjustments throughout the game, not just based on the conditions, but also just based on the fact this is your second game in less than 24 hours. And
Mendo carrying, and it's stopped at the top of the 18. But Jonas now has it, feeds it up, almost got it back. No foul called at the top of the box, much to the chagrin of the Camels faithful. And now a foul will be called as Kabedu is going to get booked after taking out Jonas. So Kabedu now in the book. 2:44 left to go here in overtime, and Kabedu earned that one. 1-1 in overtime, 2:44 remaining. Free kick opportunity here for the Camels. In overtime, it is whoever puts it in the back of the net first will be the national champion. And this appears to be Horvath Diano. He'll take the kick. It's not. Oh, Hope Gunn backed up. But his teammates ended up getting it. The kick came from Giron, actually. 2.5 minutes to play. Camel still with it. Jonas on the left side. That's his strong foot. That hits a body coming in. Hope Gunn tries to keep it from going out of bounds. It's too late. It'll be a corner kick. Another dangerous opportunity for the Camels, who scored their lone goal off of the corner. Hope Gunn disappointed in the call.
There's a lot of black shirts there between the 6 and the penalty mark, but it's be Rye Duran.
Duran will take it. 2:05 remaining. Duran had a beautiful bender that led to that goal. The difference was they lined up close to the goal line. This time they're lining up at the 18 and crashing. This one's going to be an in-swinger. Gets deflected out, not out of trouble. Running onto it and throwing it in front, and it's got to get clear, but it's not out of the box. Thought there was a handball call, so do the Camels think, on...
And then a hard foul there. A little frustration probably ensuing there.
Bedu is the one that...
Crayus.
Bedu's the one that got this ball hit. Ooh.
That's close, but I think it hit him in the sternum.
Let's see if the other angle gives us a better look. And nope, we're not going to, yeah, I mean, it's right in front of him. He's got the best angle on it. Bedu is also the one that took the hit on the sideline. So Johnson, no, it is going to be the kick, I should say. And they're going to have Hope Gunn, the goalie, take it. Gets a good foot into this one. 1 minute left to go in the first overtime. Bedu fighting for that ball and can't get to it. It'll go out of bounds for the Camels throw-in, though. Mendo will do the honors of throwing it in, and he's going to, no, I thought he was going to throw it back. Now he's going to go up the field. Things can change quickly, as we've already seen. That kick going back to Maidenberg. He's got to be very good with that kick, or it was going to cost him, as we're down to 25 seconds remaining here in overtime. We'll get a couple-minute break between overtime periods. Enough for everybody to get a quick water and then back on the field. We'll switch sides. 10 seconds left. Last desperate gasp, and we're going to get a stoppage of the clock here with 5.5 seconds left off the foul and another booking coming. And that is on who? Gittler?
Believe it's on Murphy.
Yeah, he tackled him from behind. I thought Murphy.
So it'll be Niall Murphy with the card.
Yeah, because if it was Gittler, it would have been his second. And the way the official was looking, he knew it wasn't Gittler.
And Murphy's had a couple of infractions leading up to it, so it was a matter of time before card got pulled.
5.6 seconds left. Once again, it'll be Duran who's going to throw this in, and once again we'll have a conversation about the behavior in the battle for position.
I mean, Connecticut's already scored one goal today while being tied up.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't. Bear hugged. Ball kicked into play. Amherst gets a head on it. And that will draw the first overtime to an end. So one overtime, not enough. No surprise. And we'll play another 10 minutes. And again, if the 10 minutes end with no goal, we will go to PKs, as that will determine the champion. And you were saying earlier, the one time that goes down as a win, right?
Only time over the course of the year it would go down as win. And we were talking about PKs last night and setting up what the plays would be and who could be involved, but we're not going to do that tonight because last night it never reached that point. Spent all the time setting up something that did not happen. But 108th minute, obviously, last night a huge save by Hope Gunn, and the following sequence, a throw in by Bryce Johnson, and led to the can-in by Cabeto. And Dave, it's interesting right now, how much does Amherst have left? Clearly they've found a source of energy that I don't know where they've been digging deep to pull this up, but they've been, if anything, they've been working for this for 2 years. They left this field 2 years ago with a bad taste in their mouth, losing to another NESCAC foe in Tufts, and then had to think about all of last year because nobody played. So, Coach, Serpone's, the culture around his program. There's been articles in the New York Times just about, not only the soccer culture, but they bring players from all over the country, all over the world. Diversity of the program has been something that they've taken a major focus on. Now they have a chance, 10 minutes left, to make up for what they felt that they should have had 2 years ago. And meanwhile, on the other side, you got Connecticut College, right? They're the new darlings at the ball. They've been working for this for years. They've played sometimes a perfect tournament in some games, and then other situations they've had their backs to the wall. The first round against Salem State, the barn burner against Tufts where they had the big lead and almost saw it evaporate. Last night where they had to go to overtime to knock out the number one team in the country. Coming from behind. This is a Connecticut College team that if anybody in the tournament has dealt with adversity, it certainly is the Camels. So, 10 minutes to really decide, do we figure this out on the field? Or I don't think too many of us like to see games decided by PKs, but at some point, there's just no more gas in the tank.
Ruben Burke's been building this Camels program to this point. They've been knocking on the doorstep in the NESCAC of breaking through. And you've got this Amherst squad again, as you point out. Justin Serpone has been building it as well. We should mention Justin Serpone's wife, by the way, pretty familiar with winning as well. 6th winningest coach all time in women's lacrosse history, as she is the UMass women's lacrosse coach. I haven't had a chance to get this note in. He's got 5 master's degrees, and he's working on 3 more.
At the same time, probably?
Yeah, he is working on 3 more. Currently enrolled in 3 more degrees at 3 different institutions.
He is always fascinating to have a conversation with.
Well, and then you talk about Ruben Burke and the fact that, played in the NCAA tournaments twice as a player at Hobart. Now in his 3rd season, and just look at what he's done with his Camels program. Connecticut College, by the way, will kick off.
We've seen some young coaches in this tournament on both sides make a mark for themselves. And of course, with CNU winning its first ever national championship.
I think it's safe to say, talking to Coach Serpone, he said that what Burke has done is to be commended as, once again, a false start. Everyone does the same thing. They line up guys and they're just trying to boot it downfield. But Serpone's saying, what Burke has done in the Camels program has to be commended, and, Coach of the Year material. And that says a lot from your fellow coach in a conference that you're fighting bitterly with every season. 9:45 as we're into second overtime here. The Camels are in the white uniforms representing Connecticut College. White shorts, white socks are now going right to left like they did in the first half. Amherst in the black uniforms as Schuma loses the touch at the top of the box. And Mammoths are in the black uniforms with the purple number and trim. They're going left to right. And a foul called that time on Murphy.
Murphy's getting the start today. He had only started 9 games all year coming into play. He's seen a ton of minutes.
He has. Camels restart with some passing as we've got 9 minutes to play in this one. You don't want to play 4 penalty kicks, but you also got to be careful if you're both teams. Oh, nice spin move there, but the ball goes out of bounds as in the game is Zane. It'll be but they're going to say it went off of a Mammoth foot before going out of bounds. Oh, no, they call a foul. I'm not sure what. It's hard to tell on the far side there. Yep, they called a foul right on the sideline there. Dangerous situation here. This is in a very good spot to give you options. Hope Gunn barking out commands to his defense. Can't see who that is. I'm pretty sure it's your own opportunity. Wow, that was
off the back of the head of Cerizio.
Yeah, Cerizio got up for that, but just didn't get a clean look. And I'm not sure why. The official wants to talk to Hope Gunn about these goal kicks. Stop the clock to have a conversation with him. You saw that opportunity again there on the replay. Hope Gunn out of New York, New York. We'll put a foot into this one. He's a senior. Likely playing in his final game. Flick on. Comes down to Kabedu. Goes out of bounds. I'm going to say it went off of the body of Okorogeye, who was trying to convince others that it went off of somebody else. Okorogeye He's also had struggled to find his shot this weekend, along with Herman Giamatti. 7:35 remaining here in the second and final overtime. Whoever scores wins it and walks home with a walnut and bronze. That nearly goes through the Camels defense, as you hear some exasperation in the crowd, but Cerezo able to track it down. 7:16 remaining. Camels trying to counter here. They're going to go out wide. I believe that'll stay in bounds. It will for Jonas. Jonas carries. Don't want it on his left foot. Camels being very deliberate here. Jonas still has it. Defender down. Plays it to a teammate. Opportunity, top of the box. Right foot shot, and Hope Gunn rips it down. Great look for Jerain, and Hope Gunn makes it look like he's got sticky gloves, and they got a Mammoth injured on the far side. I think it's Wu.
We look at the replay. First of all, the patience there from Durant to wait for his shot after a lot of patience on the wing, and then Hope Gunn reading it so well, going nice. And that may have been crossbar level. Can't take a chance, and he has done a marvelous job. Hope Gunn has this entire tournament.
First time tonight we might see actually somebody who's cramping up. We saw a lot of that in the Amherst. Yeah, it is a cramp for Wu in the Amherst game against
Chicago. And Chicago was the one that struggled more than Amherst.
True.
But Amherst, the amount of soccer that they have played. Obviously Connecticut went to overtime as well, but that one was over far earlier.
It was over after just basically 9 minutes in. Amherst went an additional 9
minutes plus 2 hours. Really 3
later,
hours.
A later game, yeah. Wu will walk it off. Not sure if he wanted a sub or not, but Coach Chapone calls off whatever plan he had. And so Hope Gunn is going to be given the ball. .6:36 remaining here in the second overtime. Hope Gunn will punt it away as the clock starts, and he mispunted. That's the first missed kick he's had. It went up in the air, but just not as far as he normally kicks it. And the Camels are trying to pounce on it. Oh, nice little footwork there from Kreos. But Mammoths get it back. Okoregeye's got it. Big foot there from Murphy. Giamatti's trying to run onto it, and he gets hit while Cerezo's going up for the ball.
50-50 ball they're going to play on there.
Yep. 6 minutes left. Cerezo also didn't climb over him necessarily. Both teams are just gassed. Not a lot of movement out there. Play it to Jonas on the near side, and the overlap coming from Doyle from the defensive position. Jonas left foot, and he misses it far post.
So they give him a lot of space there, and then all of a sudden, just as it's about set to unload, they converge to kind of cut off that lane and force that shot to go wide.
Into the game for the Camels is Horvath Diano again. Also into the game comes Girjai, who has Connecticut's lone goal in this game. And at one point looked like a hero, as Wu now can't handle the cramps and will come to the sideline.
Bring in number 15, Declan Sung. Played a little bit in the first half.
Yeah, played a little bit early on. He will come in a more midfield role.
That's a big loss there, having the Wu come out of this game. He hasn't been off the field at all in the last 2 days.
Trainer's going to come and take a look at him as they're going to try and stretch out his hamstrings. 5 minutes left to go in the 2021 season. We will either see penalty kicks or a national champion crowned in the next few minutes, as the official now having a long conversation with the guys upfield.
Watching Wu, the senior captain, trying to stretch it out behind his bench.
They're also trying to fix the clock. They added some time to it to 5:11. Nope, 5:25 now. So a little bit of extra time added to the clock, and Hope Gunn will now put it in play. Gets a foot into this one, but the Mammoths are going in the wrong direction. And then up into the air off the foot of, I believe that was Novak. 5:06 remaining. The Camels will use their defense, and they'll use Maidenberg, the goalie, as this second overtime is at about a quarter of the tempo the rest of the game has been being played at. Not surprisingly, as gas tanks are near empty, if not already passed. Played up ahead. Camels trying to take advantage. It's Durain. He then loses the ball. Kubedu's got it. And out of bounds for Amherst. Coming up to throw this in is Sung, but then relinquishes it to, I would assume, Johnson. And it is Johnson with 4:20 remaining here in the overtime periods. This is the last minutes of the season ahead of us as this one's thrown somewhat in the ground, but it still ends up on the foot of Okorogeye. He's trying to work his way through traffic. Opportunity back to Okorogeye in the box, and it's blocked out front.
And a huge defensive stand there for Jack Kelzoglu. Stepping in front of Okorogeye to stuff this attempt.
Okorogeye once again dribbling through traffic and for the first time popped open in the box.
Kelzoglu stuck his ground and prevented what would have been a point-blank shot there.
Johnson will throw it in from the far side. This one's got a lot of airtime, but it's getting into the 6-yard. And going up to catch it, though not cleanly, was Maidenberg. He bobbled it a little bit, but nobody able to take advantage of it. 3:24 remaining. Trying to pop out of the defensive look. Played up ahead to Horvath Diano.
Look at the center mid, wide open.
And I was going to say, now they'll play it through the middle. On the foot of Girjai. Outside now. Camels trying to build the attack. Girjai is going to chase this down in the corner. 3 minutes left to go. Somehow crossed that past the defender, but there was nobody wearing a white uniform anywhere nearby. They were watching the midfield. Okorogeye is absolutely harassing Bacchetti. Bacchetti now gets it back in the middle of the field. Giamatti almost ran onto it.
Well, Giamatti's the one who forced him to give it away.
And it'll be a throw-in for the Camels because that came on the kick of Murphy. With 2.5 minutes left, they're going to back up the throw here.
Both forwards, despite how tired they are, coming back, getting involved, disrupting the midfield, and not making it easy on these Camels.
Don't be surprised if we see goalie changes. We see the Camels getting one of theirs ready. I believe that is Sylvester. Peter Sylvester, who played in just 4 games this season, is a Bermuda native. He is getting ready to probably come into this game. The team knows it for PKs. He will come in just for the PKs. I know Amherst has considered it, but I don't see any signs that they're going to go with somebody different.
If they do, it would be Bernie White.
Right. Rapal, in the meantime, is getting ready to check into this game as we're under 2 minutes to play in the second overtime, and Johnson's going to go with another flip throw, and that one's got some distance on it, but it can't keep from going out of bounds. In the meantime, the Camels are psyching up Sylvester, and the fans see it now too, knowing what's at stake for the freshman goalkeeper. How about that, Ira? You've got a junior in the goal right now. You're going to turn to a freshman to shut down Amherst on PK should we get there with 80 seconds left. It's looking like that, but about this point, Amherst knotted it up at the end of regulation.
And also won it last night.
Yep. Who's got the late game heroics here? Mammoth building, trying to get something going. Kicked up ahead. And Herman Giamatti cannot get around the defender as we're under a minute to play in the season. We'll pass it back to Maidenberg, who's going to get harassed by Okorogeye, as will Kelazoglu. They kick it over the top, and now it's just who can boot it harder. Herman Giamatti's going to try and get an opportunity. Passes it to Kubedu, but he couldn't do anything with it as we approach 30 seconds left. Amherst, I think, is sensing an opportunity here. 25 seconds left. And Amherst's attack is going to be thwarted. Goes over the top. Schumer was trying to run onto that for the Camels as we're down to 13 seconds. And PKs, unless something crazy happens here, is our future for the national title. Okorogeyu to the end line. It's going to go out of bounds, and 110 minutes. Not enough to crown a champion this year in Division III men's soccer. We need penalty kicks to hand out the walnut and bronze. Both teams will get a break. They will submit their lineups to determine the order of who is kicking and when. There will be a coin toss to determine where the kicks will take place and who will go first. But more importantly, the teams are going to get a much-needed break here. We'll get about a 5-minute break, just like we did going into overtime, so we'll take that break as well. It's not the most ideal way to determine a national champion, but it is how we will determine who walks home champs of the 2021 season. Amherst, Connecticut College, end this one, 1-1. We crown a champion when we come back on NCAA.com. In the National Hockey League, they play in the postseason until someone scores. As a former soccer player, I'll tell you now, there's no chance that that's possible sometimes, or it'd be ugly finish. It's not ideal to win on penalty kicks either, but that's how we will determine a champion in 2021. Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor. Amherst and Connecticut College, two NESCAC foes, will have to shoot it out to determine who will win the Walnut and Bronze. And Connecticut College, going with what they told us they would do, they will change goalies. Sam Maidenberg, who played all weekend, will take a seat. And Peter Sylvester, the Smiths Parish Bermuda native and a freshman who has played in a total of 5 games this season, this technically being the 5th or 6th. Actually, I'm not even sure if it counts going into a game for PKs. He will go in to take the PKs for Conn College. In the meantime, we've been told we know at least that shots will take place to the right-hand side of our broadcast position. The goal that basically Conn College was able to score on in the second half.
Dave, this will be only the 4th time in the history of this tournament that a champion is decided on PKs. It'll be the first time since 2008 when Messiah topped Stevens. They actually won in the minimum number of shots at year 3. It was 3-0, but
right.
Middlebury in 07, Messiah in 2008, and then Rowan all the way back in 1990. But that year they played 4 overtimes.
Right, they played 4. Yeah, I remember that. A reminder to everybody on how this works. It is a best of 5 in the sense that 5 names are submitted to at least take shots. We will alternate shots. Whoever won the coin toss will go first, or they had a choice, I should say, to determine that. One team will go first, another team will go second, just like in a game of baseball. You have the top inning and the bottom inning. Basically, it can end after 3 if it's 3-0, as Ira pointed out, because it's impossible to play the last 2 and recover enough to win it or tie it.
Well, both these teams have won experience with a shootout this year. Amherst falling in the NESCAC quarters to Colby 4-3, and of course we talked about it earlier. Connecticut surviving Salem State in the opening round of this tournament 3-2 on PKs. The first time Amherst was in this spot, they went with a lineup of Wu, Bryce Johnson, Novak, Gittler, and Giamatti. And Novak and Giamatti both were unsuccessful in their attempts.
Goalies getting a chat with the procedures. A reminder, goalies can move on the line. When you and I played, that wasn't allowed, though we tried to take advantage of as much as we could. But they can move along the line. They just can't move forward of the line until the ball is kicked. And it will be the Camels who will strike first. Jonas, who had, again, the strike that Hope Gunn had to save that set up the corner kick that resulted in the goal. He will be the first to take the first penalty against Hope Gunn.
And he went second in the first round against Salem. It was Duran, Jonas,
he is a lefty,
Girjai, Bacchetti, and Marvel against Salem. So he was successful in the first round of the NCAAs.
Hope Gunn doesn't waste time. He gets right to the line and is ready to go. I was the kind that would wait around. I would determine things. Hope Gunn leaves the center spot, and Jonas drills it right down the middle. 1-0 the lead for Conn College.
Yeah, crafty move there, baiting Hope Gunn to go towards the far post. And,
yep, just turned it over, didn't he?
Well, let's see how...
Opened up the hips and then fired it down the middle.
See how cold Sylvester is not.
Wu now will come up to take this kick. He is a Bethesda, Maryland native. Senior. A righty will go against Sylvester again. Did not play in this game. Wu goes left, and Sylvester actually goes right on Sylvester, and he makes the stop.
If you watch, he actually started fading towards the near post and then was able to read it correctly and went outside.
Absolutely shot back the other direction. Check it out again. Yep, he just takes a little bit of a shoulder move to the left,
and
left.
That might have been
goes to the right
to try to bait the kicker into going towards that near post.
That's some of the best will do that. I mean, love that tactic.
Any advantage the keeper can get in this spot.
Shuma comes up.
Shuma did not
from
kick
Zimbabwe
against Salem State.
He's got a rocket of a foot. 1-0 the lead. 2-0 the lead for Connecticut College as they twice go back from where Hope Gunn was coming from. And Shuma gives a 2-0 lead for the Camels, and now the pressure is on Amherst. As you check it out again, just buries it in the upper corner. And coming to take this one is Bryce Johnson, the Plano, Texas senior, a second-team All-Region selection and second-team All-NESCAC honoree. He goes to the same side, and Sylvester comes up big again. Sylvester with 2 saves to his right and down low, and Conn College has a chance to end it a little bit earlier if they score here and get another save. And Sylvester, look at that reach.
Unbelievable. Chance to be the hero, having not played a second all weekend.
A freshman coming up huge. Now, Connecticut College brings Gear Guy to the spot, the NESCAC Player of the Year and 2-time first-teamer. It's on his right foot. And they do it again. They go back the other direction where the Hope Guns come from, and Conn College has a 3-0 lead, and it comes down to this. They need to score to keep this going. If they miss, it is over now. And now the order is already predetermined. They can't change it up. It's not like they're like, wow, we need a goal. Let's send somebody else up.
Now this will be Gabe Gittler. Try to keep their dreams alive.
So Gittler to take the shot. Gittler, San Diego native, another senior. Got a lefty. Can he beat Sylvester? Oh, he went to the same side. Sylvester just couldn't get a hand to it and keeps the Mammoths alive in this event. It is 3-1 through 3 rounds. I think they score here, it's over. Yes, if they score here, Ira, it's over because it'll be a 4-1 lead and you can't come back from that.
You're correct.
So it is basically to a point of sudden victory here, the way we're playing these last couple of rounds, and the kicker will be Bocchetti, the Wilmington, Delaware native. One of the captains on this team, 6-foot senior, government major, wants to go to law school, but right now wants to walk off this field a champion. The Camels are your 2021 national champions. A perfect